Is that how we do? Is that because it's a scare? It's gonna be scary. So
Yeah. So
we
I read.
have to talk in scary voices.
So you know how like every
Wait, Ted, are you looking to see who our guest is?
Yes,
You
he
are.
is.
No, I was making
Yes, you
sure
are.
it's not Halloween.
you didn't know
You have no idea.
I thought it was Halloween
Okay,
for a second.
okay.
It's close.
What was it?
that's not a power nap.
No, I was
dude.
gonna
I think
say-
you went in a coma.
I was gonna say Happy Halloween, but it's not
Speed. The Speed's the movie. All right, who's our guest? Hotshot. Who's our guest? No. You don't. You have no
Halloween. It's a
idea.
horror author.
I don't
Brad
understand.
Wiseman.
It's Wiesman, but
Wiesman.
I don't understand how this is possible that you're so shitty. Like, how do you not pay attention to this? What else do you? Okay, you golf, you go to work,
Yeah.
you drink relentlessly. I mean,
he doesn't say yes to that. He's just
and the show,
smiling.
and the show.
I didn't disagree
What
with
else?
what he just
What else
said.
is
No.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
didn't agree with him.
I
either.
actually just ordered a 3-wood on eBay, a Callaway 3-wood for $70, brand new.
why?
You know why?
No, I don't know. Literally, that's why I'm asking why.
Why not?
Don't you have a 3-wood?
Yes, he does.
This is a better 3-wood.
This one hits the ball straight.
If it's
Ted's-
$70, it's not a real Callaway.
No,
it is.
it's a real Callaway.
It is.
Yeah.
It's probably 2 or 3 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they do that.
I'll run it past you guys to see what
It's a
generation
Jallaway.
it is. Yeah.
happy Jallaway. Yes.
So you know
they're
how
probably made in the same place. You know, there was a fire in this factory that makes 25% of the world's golf balls. So if you ever
Really?
wonder, like, they're all made in different places. Nope.
No, I believe it.
25% of the world's golf balls, Titleist, Callaway, all those are made in one place, and there was a huge fire, and there is now a golf ball shortage,
except for the guy by the river,
except for
or
the man down
bike
by the
path,
yeah,
by the bike path.
dude. That guy,
What if it turns out that every Pro V1 was really a top flight? This guy.
Teddy.
You were hitting top flight the whole time.
I mean, isn't some of it just marketing? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
What are golf tips? Well, I mean, what's that? You know what they're selling? They're selling you hope.
right? But
Hope.
I mean, baseball
And
gloves
dreams.
and basketballs.
dreams.
I mean, none of that stuff has changed in years. I mean, what all you're getting is something newer, shinier, in a
you-
different color.
Have dreams,
I have no dreams, Ted. Ted, my dreams have
aspirations.
my dreams have become nightmares, just like this
Ooh,
show.
that's topical because I got something to say about nightmares.
Do you really?
Yeah. So every state has like
Nightmare laws?
a Springfield, Crystal Lake, right?
Oh yeah, they all do.
Didn't
So there's
the Simpsons? There was Springfield. Right? Wasn't it Springfield was
Yeah,
the capital?
I think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
one of the most popular city names.
I think there's a Springfield in every state.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
think or 48 or continental
Main,
U.S.
like
or
Main
something.
Street, right? Main Street,
Yeah.
Springfield.
Yeah.
So there's a Crystal Lake, an actual lake. We have a town named Crystal Lake here, and I think there's a lake there too as well.
Yeah,
But
there's
I'm not
Crystal
sure.
Lake, yeah.
But there's a Crystal Lake in Minnesota, and a few years ago, this guy, he's like an artist. I don't know what he is, but he built a 7-foot Jason Voorhees statue, like the original, like his stance from the original one with the machete and the hockey mask and everything.
Right.
And he sunk him 150 feet down into that lake and anchored him to the bottom. So he's 150 feet down in that lake, anchored. And there's video.
Wouldn't it be smarter to just to? I mean, who's going to see it?
Well,
150 feet down in
it's
the
a
lake.
it's a deep lake.
What
It's
the fuck?
I'm going to tell you, it's a deep lake, and it's known for like amateur or scuba divers and things like that. They go scuba diving in that lake, and so it's down there, and it's going to be down there forever.
Is there to
and
scare them?
It doesn't rot. It's I don't know what it's made out of, but there's a video of it.
Cast iron alloy.
No, it looks
Titanium.
Dude, it looks real. It's amazing. Look it up online. It's Crystal Lake, Minnesota, and it's a cool video. But yeah, he's hoping that someone's just going to scuba dive down and be like, "Holy shit!"
That seems, the people.
It's a lot of work.
There's people that are heavily fascinated by like horror, like their whole lives. I mean, obviously our author
my
who's
God,
written
yeah.
a bunch of books about it.
Well,
couple
it's different.
books.
He's
But
obviously
yeah.
professional getting.
But there's
for
people
it,
that like
so.
their whole thing, like Halloween is their time of the year.
I've driven past a bunch of houses just randomly, and some people there's some impressive Halloween decorations. I mean, that's above and beyond your normal.
Oh, you should have
yeah.
seen our house. This is the first
Jack-o'-lantern.
year in 12 years we haven't done it.
Yeah.
Our front yard and house is off the hook.
Yeah, I'm talking like Texas Chainsaw Massacre type of.
Yeah,
displays,
absolutely.
I think we put it up because people do, right? And then Cheryl just wants to have stuff up, but also to kind of let the kids know that they can come by. And if there's any candy left, I mean, I've eaten almost all of it.
Now,
If there's any left, they can have it.
now have you transitioned to the point where you just leave like the basket of candy outside so they don't have to answer the door, and hopefully the one kid doesn't steal it all, doesn't hoard it all for himself? And
No,
just
don't
take
the
a
kids?
reasonable
Don't the
amount?
little kids who want that? Don't they want you to come to the door
Yeah.
and give them candy?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's just in a bowl, doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of Halloween?
Yeah.
I mean, the idea was, somebody hands you, like some random jagoff hands you candy.
Yeah. Well, it's actually, what's actually scary? The people who actually answer the door. That's more of a Halloween thing. Like, you know who's going to answer the door, because I've seen some scary people answer the door.
Yeah, some people answer the door with scary shit and
Yeah.
do stupid shit like that.
No, but they look scary like normally. They're not dressed up or anything. They just that's the way they are. And and so I just read a story, true story, just now. It said like some guy in a affluent neighborhood was complaining that kids from poor areas
Yeah.
who don't live in the neighborhood were coming to his neighborhood to trick or treat. And so he's one of those guys.
That's
he
what
turns
kids do.
He turns off the lights. Turns off the porch lights to pretend nobody's home because he doesn't want to service their needs, because I guess it's all,
one day a
it's all
year.
beneath him.
Okay, so
Beneath
if he clearly has the money, if he spends say $400 on candy, is that anything to him? Just give the fucking
I
kids
know.
the candy.
It's not about that.
One of my son's best friends, his mom, her cousin lives in like the really, really, really rich area of Park Ridge.
Yeah, that's where
So
my
she
kids
would-
went all
So
the time.
she would gather up, put every friend she could in the car, and they'd go over to her cousin's house, and they would trick or treat there. He would come home. It was unbelievable.
Yeah,
and
full-size
king
candy
size.
bars, yeah.
No, not to. Yes, full size and king size.
Yeah.
It was nuts. I mean, there was nothing. Nothing was the stuff you would buy at the store in the mass quantity bags.
Yeah. Oh no, that's exactly what my kids did.
Yeah.
So there's like 5 or 6 kids in the neighborhood, maybe like 10. The moms would all get together and they'd go do their thing. I never really liked Halloween because I know the dads got together and they drank and walked around and everything. I just don't really like it. I'm not a dress up kind of guy, and I'm not really a scary kind of guy. I don't like to be scared.
Well, you don't sell yourself short, man. You're very
I'm
scary.
a scary guy.
Um,
I bet
I'm
a lot
scared.
of
I'm
people
scary.
say that.
Scared right
You-
now.
Every day's Halloween.
Ted, he's got us booked here on Halloween.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about this. You want to do the show on
What,
Halloween?
what if I had something to do?
Well,
what if I had plans?
you
What if
didn't
what
say-
if, what if I wanted to go
it's been-
trick or treating?
Here, Ted, since you have no idea what's happening.
What if I want to go trick or
Yeah,
treating?
the only person that really makes a difference is Mark because he pays attention to the schedule.
Hey, let's make a difference out
You know,
there.
it doesn't cost anything to pay attention, man.
But you're looking at
why
me.
are you looking at Ted? Yeah, look at
Because I'm sending him a message.
He's multitasking.
Yeah, I mean, but we're going to have a mentalist. We're going to basically have a guy who can on Halloween can read us.
I
Can
heard
we start
I heard
earlier?
mentalists can't read. Like if you're an imbecile, they can't read your mind.
No,
so let's see if
not
that's
a
true.
mentalist. That's hypnosis.
No, wasn't that movie
Yeah.
like The Stand with Stephen King? The devil couldn't read the idiot's mind because he was a moron.
Yeah, you know what? I just reread that book. I just reread The Stand.
The
I actually
Walking
listened to
Dude.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Stephen King is man. He is so much fun.
Is he still writing books?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and his son is writing books. I never read anything his wife wrote, but yeah, he just wrote
Tabitha?
Mr. Mercedes
Yeah.
and some other stuff that I've read. Mr. Mercedes was 3 of the greatest books I've ever read in my life.
So I was reading like
Oh.
the top like the scariest movies of all time, and like half of them are like foreign films. Like there's Dutch films that I've never heard of.
Yeah, see, that's why I want to talk
there's
to
a there's a new horror movie out that supposedly like it has like a shocking ending. I don't know what it is, but
the guy.
I don't know what it is.
They kill the guy and he comes back to life. Is it the end? The end, or is it?
That
is
just
it-
sounds tedious. It doesn't sound-
You know what I had to do for this show is I had to watch the making of Friday the 13th. I had to watch the making of Halloween.
So the making of Halloween was good. I watched that a few years ago.
it's
I thought it was good. You
Who
know
played
how
Mike,
they-
who played Mike Myers in the original Halloween? Just some guy we know.
no,
I mean, he
it's,
never-
it's just one of the
those speaking
one
lines,
of the
right? Yeah.
one of the guys from the crew.
He was tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you didn't need anybody. Yeah, it's just
there's no speaking lines. He's just walking around. And it's like they got to be the easiest role of all time, right?
well, I think the cutting edge movies like that. The concept behind it is that it was a really small film company that was making it, and if they didn't make this and it wasn't good, they
Well,
weren't
that-
going to continue making.
But
any
that
more
movie,
movies.
John Carpenter did that movie.
Yeah,
And that
Oh, I didn't know
movie-
that.
Yeah, that was
I didn't know it was John Carpenter.
that was well done. I mean, they did it in California, but it was supposed to be in Illinois.
I thought it was in New Jersey.
No, they filmed it in California.
Oh,
I don't know, man.
But they
It-
brought
all-
in like they imported leaves and shit to put down on the
Oh, I
ground.
didn't know that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, I swear to God, to make it look like
you
fall.
know what's kind of like a scary movie.
That's got to be the toughest thing.
You know, it was like a scary movie, but it was sort of funny because it was so absurd. Remember the Evil Dead?
Oh,
Love that.
dude.
And the
Yeah, Bruce Campbell.
Yeah,
but
he
there
cuts
was-
off his hand to put the
love
chainsaw.
that.
But
on.
you know,
He's
that
like,
was that was a remake of the Evil Dead.
oh, okay, I didn't know.
So,
that.
but
Yeah.
no, but there was an Evil Dead, and that was Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn,
Yeah.
Yeah.
with Campbell.
Yeah.
And that just rocketed. And I had that.
Love Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
I had that on VHS when we were younger, and we watched that movie over and over again. It was one of the movies that, one, scared the shit out of us, and two,
That was a
I
scary
never
movie.
laughed any harder in my
Yeah,
entire
it was like
life.
it was like that's a rare combination of something that's like funny, but yet it's like not
Yeah.
funny. You know,
When
and
he
goes,
puts
and
that
goes,
chainsaw
and
in his
then I
hand.
buried her in the
Groovy.
fruit cellar. I was like, ah!
Dude, it is
think
really.
it's-
I love
See,
it.
I like those funny ones, like Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
And that stuff with that.
Or the Book of the
Peg.
Yeah.
Simon Pegg or whoever it is. Yeah, I like those funnier things, like funny, scary kind of things.
But then I was reading this too, like they said, like horror movies, like why did they do that? Like for example, like why would you go into the house? Why would you follow this person into like Jeepers Creepers? They go into like the big pipe where there's all the dead bodies, the creepers in there, and he's like,
Wait, so
why-
you've
why
seen
would-
the movie Jeepers Creepers?
I love Jeepers Creepers.
You do?
I love Jeepers.
I asked you-
Not part two.
I asked you the other
yeah.
day what your favorite scary movie was.
I just thought about it. Yeah, it's been a while because I haven't seen it for a long time. But yeah, Jeepers Creepers. It was kind of scary, you know, and it wasn't really funny. You know, I mean, it was, you know,
there was nothing really funny
no,
about
no,
that.
yeah,
That was a
and-
really scary movie.
Oh, and the hero in that movie, yeah, he got eaten by the creeper at the end. He was.
Hey,
Oh,
man.
man.
Wait, are you saying people died in that movie? Like everybody?
He goes, Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get those peepers? You know why? Because he ripped his eyes out and took them for himself. That's how he got those peepers. So,
Is that what the concept was?
Yeah.
They all go together. I mean,
yeah,
honestly.
so the creeper would take like body parts from certain people to like take it. It was like a locust that like awakens every
Wait a minute.
17 years.
That sounds like my neighbor.
Exactly.
Wait, is that wrong?
He
to
wakes,
the north or the south?
comes awake every 17
Just
years.
a couple.
Yeah,
It's a weird neighborhood. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody. I'm one of the few non-murderers. I have to feel like. Yeah,
I do want to see Jeepers Creepers again. Now I'm pumped up now. I want to kind of YouTube it. I mean, because it hasn't been. I mean, I don't know how old that movie is, but it's.
So I tried to find. That's the funny thing. Like a lot of these movies, like I was trying to watch some movies, like
Yeah.
iconic ones that are in Brad's book, and some of them you just everything costs money now. It's
Yeah.
not. It's hard to find all that stuff for free.
Mhm.
You know, and it's and it's just kind of weird. So you know, I end up watching. You know,
I can't
some
think of the
real
guy's
crap.
name. Who's the star of that movie? Like he's like a dark haired guy. He's been in a few movies, but he's like it's him. He's like the main character. Then there's a girl, of course, and then
It's always a girl.
there's the
She's gotta be
creeper,
hot.
and he's got that weird vehicle with the light split that says "beating you." It's like it's like some. It almost looks like it looks. Like,
You know what? I'm 100% sure I haven't seen this movie now.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
oh, Jeepers Creepers! You got to see Jeepers Creepers. That's a good one.
I do not want to.
Yeah, Creeper's not messing around. It's
Yeah.
like the Terminator.
Oh, you know what? So before we do your tip, which we got to get to, we got hammered. I got hammered for the office dork comment when I said last week that Ted's tip that is he befriended the office dork.
Oh, what
And
kind
man,
of what kind
You're
of
not
feedback?
supposed to say dork anymore.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I was like I badmouthed him. Ted, get your own fucking beer. What do you just
He's
stand up and get
signing.
your own
Just-
beer?
Dude, that's pretty good. Tim.
Yeah, it's real good. It's just like the monkey.
So he wanted me
Yeah.
to get up and get it.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah. You know what I was watching? I was watching Shape of Water because it won an Academy Award.
Sure.
That the scary movie, and she's got to talk to this.
Oh, that's the
creature
creature
thing.
from-
yeah.
yeah.
So Teddy, oh Jesus Christ, and Teddy's
You know there's
Teddy's
no
doing
alcohol in these, right, Ted?
That's right.
I'm not kidding you.
That. Yeah, they're non-alcohol. Do you want to?
Is that why you're so non-fun, Mark? Because there's no booze in those beers.
Yeah. So it's funny, but okay. Yeah. So we got hammered for the office dork thing.
So what do
It's
you
like-
what
it
what
was-
do you, so
I
what
guess
are you
it was-
supposed to call the office dork?
What type of feedback
Well,
did you get?
it was it was like a negative thing for a person who has a different outlook on life, and yeah, I don't know
I
why
know
people
some-
are wasting
some
their
people
time. 'Cause I'm an
actually-
asshole, and I don't give a fuck what you say. But some people, we got about 5 or 6 people who are just like, that's a real derogatory term, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, I guess,
So
I
is
guess
nerd,
you-
but it's been embraced. Now, I mean, people call themselves nerds. Dude, I'm a total like horror film nerd, or I'm the dork, and I just love this stuff. It's totally wrong what they're saying.
I don't know.
People, that's
I-
a term of endearment now. You know what I mean? Like the Geek Squad.
Like same to
Like-
you, and so's your mother.
What about the Geek Squad? They call themselves geeks.
Dude, I don't know, but
There's
if
companies called like the nerds.
Yeah, I think what they
The
meant by
dorks.
I think office nerd is more someone who's like just like not socially awkward, but somebody who just
Socially
who's kind of like out of lockstep with everybody else.
Right.
Yeah, they're different. they got their own little thing going on. It's like mildly amusing for a few minutes, but then, here's the thing about the people who maybe gave negative feedback about that. The question to those people would be, do you want to hang out with that type of person, and deal with all their
they probably
foibles?
are.
That's all I'm saying.
No, what I'm saying
I'm not
is
saying they're bad people.
some people think people are weird. I'd rather be thought of as weird than like normal any day of the week.
I don't have to worry about that. Everybody thinks I'm weird.
Well,
Yeah, one of the guys at the golf course is like, he goes, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, you just told a guy came in, and I go like this. I go, you know what? I bought a bunch of scented soaps, like 5 different scents.
I like scented soaps.
And I go, I love how much I love
Scented
that smell.
candles,
And
scented
so the
candles.
guy says to me, he goes, I'm the same way. This is so weird. He's like a 30-year-old kid. He goes, I'm the same way. He goes, I have so many. And then we just talked for like a minute, and then he left.
And then you finished each other's sentences, and it was like, I
he
like.
finished.
And then my boss is
Blue
like, no,
red.
my boss is like, he goes, what's wrong with you? He goes, why would you say that to somebody? I go, you seem like a scented soap guy. I mean,
not a big
I
deal.
really enjoy. I just enjoy the concept of using a different scented soap now.
Well, there's probably a lot of people out there who they're cool, but yeah, they probably can't like be themselves in front of other people because they get judged harshly. So it's kind of cool when you can bring out your true self.
Just be yourself.
It's like
man.
Fight Club,
Yeah.
Can't
What?
talk about Fight
Well,
Club.
Matt talking about scented soap is not his true self.
I like scented
What?
soap.
What do you mean?
That was pretty tame.
Yeah. Just say, hey man, listen, just say it. And if somebody doesn't like
Yeah.
it, they'll send you something on Instagram
Yeah.
that tells you that you're doing it wrong. And I'll be like, listen, if we have a bunch of people listen to the show to catch me on things, and there are quite a few things I don't even share, I'm okay with that. Get more people. You know what? Get together every Tuesday. And then, like around 8 o'clock
Let's just
Central
get- let's
Time
just
when
get-
the
let's
show
just get-
ends.
just get weird.
Yeah.
Just get weird.
Yeah. Get together,
Do
have a
tell.
couple of
Do
drinks,
tell.
and then pick out all the things that I do wrong. I'm fine with that.
Sharon is Karen,
I don't
Well,
know Sharon.
here's the thing too. Like,
She's
let's
not
just say
Samantha.
you're at work.
but you know Karen.
Hold on, Teddy, can I stop you for a second? Because we got to get going.
I've already stopped.
Okay, excellent. All right, so let me get this thing started, and we got tips and stuff, and I want to make sure, Ted, whatever it is, I'll tell you what, write it down, forget about it, and we won't talk about it later. You're just not going to write anything down? I love that. All right. Hey, everybody, my name is Matt, and this is the Real 3 Idiots podcast. With me, as always, is the king of preparation, Teddy.
Mark, happy birthday. I'm just kidding. It's not your birthday, but for a second, it just sounded so believable.
You didn't even give yourself a chance to do anything.
Mark, happy anniversary.
Wow. Thank you, Ted.
You've been out of prison for 5 years now. Is that true?
Well,
You're not on parole
It
anymore,
hasn't
right?
been 5 years, has it?
no.
Okay. Well, here, just look at the beeps. It's written down on his ankle bracelet how long he's been out.
I wanted to use the ankle bracelet comment. You just stole. You just ruined my. You just ruined it again.
And the man who is secretly preparing the new musical called Bush about the Georges, Mark.
It's actually Bush with a C and an E at the end. So
Dude.
it's pronounced Boucher.
That would be, I'll tell you what, if you, like Hamilton, if you wrote a Bush musical and then spelled it like the beer, that would be
You know what I liked better than Hamilton?
nothing.
1776.
I don't know that one.
Okay.
Was that a musical too?
Yeah,
Like Oklahoma?
sort of.
Oklahoma
Hair-
weather.
hair?
I told Matt
Come
I didn't-
sweeping
Hair?
down
I went
the
and saw-
plains.
We went and saw Hamilton a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I didn't
but
really
that was.
like
But
it.
that was. Wasn't that like supposed to be like the like?
It is, Ted. He's
The
out of his
creme de la
mind.
creme.
Yeah,
of
I know, and
singing
I'm
and
not.
dancing.
Listen, I'm weird. I'm doing.
It was really good. It was insanely good. Yeah.
I
I mean,
told-
I saw The Lion
think
King.
so. I
and-
don't. I think.
And
I
I saw The
Live?
Lion King,
Yeah. I
don't
and,
get
and
it.
they had all the animals and stuff.
Yeah.
It was cool,
Yeah.
and like visually really cool. But the story, I mean, you know the Lion King story. I mean, it was neat though to see it all. But Hamilton was so much better because it was the music. It was all the rap music from the 80s.
Oh, they did. I didn't see. I
Yeah.
had no concept yet. I mean, so because the last live musical I saw was my grandmother took me to see Sweeney Todd the Barber of Seville on Broadway's 42nd Street when I was a kid. And yes, if I had a big long sword like the Japanese, I would have committed Harry Carey on myself right there in the theater. Not because I wanted to, but because I had to.
Oh my God. Okay, we got to get this rolling, man. I feel like I
Roll
always feel
Tide.
like I start too late. Okay, let's get to our sponsor. If you're like me, you hate guns, don't know how to use a knife in a fight, and have no self-defense skills that will save you if a bad person attacks. Don't worry, we have the answer for you. Pete Polstein's pocket grenades. These small but powerful mini grenades are perfect for self-protection and deterrence. No aiming, no permits, and best of all, you don't even have to be a great thrower. These grenades are so simple to use that even failed professional quarterback Justin Fields can wipe out a gang of bad guys just as simple as blowing your nose. So the next time you find yourself in a sketchy area, out after dark, or surrounded by teenagers mindlessly staring at their phones, just pull out one or two of Pete Polstein's pocket grenades and clear a path to safety. Go to PetePolstein'sPocketGrenades.com and click on the Responsible Safety tab to find the newest and safest way to make sure no one ever messes with you again.
Nice.
I tell you, man, we get the most unique people.
Yeah.
All right, sing it up, Marquise.
Ted's not a fast machine, and his motor's not clean, but he's the best damn tipper that I ever seen. He's got those sightless eyes, tipping all those lies, knocking us out with those turkey-like thighs. Had to cool him down with a 50 crown, and now he's back in this thing to take another swing, 'cause the walls start shaking, our minds get quaking, our minds were aching, and Ted was making a tip. Ted tipped us all night long. Yeah, you. Ted tipped us all night long. Knocked me out. I said, Ted tipped us all night long. Yeah, you tipped us. And you tipped me. All night long.
So you know what's funny?
I'm doing my solo.
Oh, sorry. So you know what's funny? I don't usually watch those like American Idol like voice songs because everybody's good now, right? But there's a couple of guys. So the one guy he sings the Scorpions "Still Loving You," and there's another guy who sings one of those famous songs like
Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
No. But I mean, but it's like it's an Asian
Coochie Man.
No, it's an Asian guy, but it's like an Asian guy from like Singapore, and yeah, he's like perfect. He sounds like. What's that one song? "Keep on Loving You" by REO Speedwagon. Or one of those genre songs, and he's like perfectly sounds just like
genre song,
just like that guy. Yeah, it's like really weird.
That is
It's
funny
really
because
weird,
you know what? I listen to REO Speedwagon, and I know that they're famous.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's really hard to listen to.
Yeah, it's not that song, but it's something similar where he literally sounds like you would think he's lip syncing. He sounds just like whatever.
REO. I think
REO,
the man's name was REO.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the band was Speedwagon. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. So we got so many buddies like would probably know every member of REO Speedwagon.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could just like. rip
But
it
the
off.
Scorpions like "Still Loving You." I mean, that was a popular song back in the day, but like they brought it back
I
now.
love the Scorps, man.
Yeah, and yeah, people went apeshit over that song. You know, like "Still Loving You."
Yeah, big fan of the Scorps.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that.
Hey
All right.
now.
What? No.
WCKG, Chicago's classic
CKG
rock.
played the Scorps.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just going to keep doing that. So everybody's listening. You're going to hear Scorps about 17 more times. All right, Teddy, are you ready for your tip?
I am. I wrote nothing down, so I'm just going to do this right. I'm just going to go cold. You know, just do this raw. Bring it. Yeah.
He's going no protection.
I'm going to raw dog this one. Yeah, let's go.
Okay, here we go. Ted, I need your help. I have a boyfriend. We've been dating for a couple of years, and he's awesome. All of his friends are great except one, Jason. He is constantly making comments, touching, and in general hitting on me. He pretends it's all in fun, but sometimes when the other people aren't around, he goes further. I'm never alone with him anymore and rarely talk to him, but it's annoying, and I need a way to make him stop once and for all. I've lightly brought it up with my boyfriend, and he says that's just Jason's way of being friendly, and he doesn't mean anything by it. A couple of other women have mentioned the same thing to me. We don't want to make waves, but 2 years is long enough. I want this to end. This is good. Help me, Ted. You are my only hope. Kristen, 29, Dallas, Texas. You ready? Hold on. There's a P.S. P.S. When do we get to see what Mark looks like?
Well, you already saw what Brad Pitt looks like, so just look at that.
Yeah,
So, you know.
Ted did a fine description last
He did.
last week.
Johnny Depp and Brad Pitt. There you go, right there. There's Mark.
Wait, is that like the guy who gets the shits in a bed? Like, is it?
Man, I'm gonna have to lose some weight before we take
Brad-
pictures.
Brad Pitt
I'm
just
gonna
like
have to lose weight before picture day, Ted.
But Kristen, just so you know, Jackson is working on getting Mark's face on the logo. So once I get him, you know what? As soon as he's done, as soon as he decides to clean up anything that any mess he makes as he's cooking or buys me a beer, the next thing he's going to do is go ahead and put Mark on the logo. So
the more
pretty
beer,
soon.
the more beer he buys, the better looking he'll be. No, it's a direct correlation.
Wait, I'm supposed to do that? Clean the kitchen and buy beer?
Hey, somebody's got to. Jack's not.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not happening. It is definitely not happening. All right, Teddy.
Okay, well, I mean, I didn't put too much thought into this one, but it seems obvious what you need to do. It seems
And that's
obvious.
completely different from any of the other ones that
So
you've done.
obviously we need to give Jason some tough love. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to do a little entrapment. So like, you're going to kind of encourage his toxic behavior. So let's just say I'm assuming he doesn't have your number, but let's just say you give him your number for entrapment purposes, and he sends you some salacious stuff that could be considered bad behavior. Just screenshot it all. Set him up where it's like,
but isn't that like entrapment?
Yes, it is. It's absolutely
That's what he
entrapment.
said.
I just
Yeah.
said entrapment. Yeah. So
Sorry,
then,
I don't listen to what you say, Ted.
and then let's just say, okay, so if he's joking, obviously he'll back off. But if he's serious, he'll follow through with whatever. I'm assuming these are sexual advances he's making. He's not.
That's what it seems like, yeah,
a
that's
lot
what
of
it
sexual
seems like.
advances. Yeah. So you're gonna kind of like set him up in a nice way, and then just say, hey, it's almost like the Chris Hansen thing. Hey, meet me here, and when he shows up, just make sure all your friends are there with the boyfriend, and he shows
Chris
up,
Hansen and him?
and then you come on, and just say, oh, what are you doing here? Why are you here?
Oh my God!
He's got the condoms. He's got the 6-pack of wine coolers, like Bartles and James wine coolers.
How awesome! So he
And then-
walks
and-
in.
and
He
then he-
walks into her house, right?
Not her
She's
house,
just
but
like,
yeah, just
she's
somewhere,
like,
yeah.
I'm just slipping into something a
Yeah.
little more comfortable
Yeah.
because that's how Chris Hansen
Yeah,
started
yeah,
everyone,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I'll be
And
right
then-
there.
yeah.
She's
And then-
upstairs.
yeah.
I'll be right there. And
He
then
drops his pants,
Yeah.
pulls out a couple of wine coolers,
And then all the
Yeah.
friends come in at
Yeah.
the same time,
Hey,
and
hey,
then
buddy,
yeah.
hey, buddy, what? Why do you have a condom? Why are your pants off? You have a condom on.
And then he's like, yes, yes, jackpot.
and then of course,
It's a gangbang.
and then of course, when he predictably categorically denies everything, you're just going to take that screenshot, whatever he's been sending you, and just put it loud and proud up on the projector so everyone can see it and say, Jason, let's bring it down a couple of notches, okay? This is
So
it's a little tough love.
That seems pretty harsh, man.
It
Because,
does.
Because
It
I
does.
mean, friends are going to be lost if they do that. Isn't there a better? I mean, isn't there like a less like?
But she said that they're all aware of his behavior, and
I
they're
think
all
the ladies. are.
But they don't take it seriously. It sounds
Well,
like
her
they don't.
boyfriend
They're
said
aware of
that
it.
too. He
Yeah.
said
But
that's
it's
just the way he is.
It's just grab ass, right? He's just playing grab ass.
Right,
Boys
right,
will be
right.
boys. He's nothing. He's harmless. So. Or so I'm just saying you could do that. So I mean, just if you want to get extreme, or you could break up with your boyfriend, go out with Jason, which I'm assuming you're not going to do.
No, I think she likes her boyfriend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's awesome.
With
With him for 2
I have a
years.
boyfriend, been dating for a couple years. Oh, and he's awesome.
Yeah.
She didn't. You know what? It'd be funny if she's like, he's a decent guy.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
I think
That would-
I think
that'd be
to
a
go with
tepid
Jason
response,
would be
yeah.
a.
You know what I've been reading? So on a side note, this is like separate from this tip, which hopefully might not be the best tip, but hopefully it helps her along the right path.
terrible.
Yeah.
It's
Okay. Listen.
So you're saying entrap this guy, embarrass him in front of everyone, and something good will come of this.
Yeah. Have him take the. Yeah. Sometimes you got to slut shame somebody to make to send a message. Or the behavior doesn't change. So, but anyway, on a side note, I was reading this. I'm reading about women who broke up with their boyfriend or their spouses because he wasn't the right guy. And here's the funny thing. So every time a woman breaks up with a guy, literally the next guy the next guy they meet, of course, in their town. So there's 8 billion people in the world. So the next guy they meet, who just happens to be in the same town, is their soulmate. So how's that possible? So you break up with this guy because it was a bad guy, but the next guy he's 1,000 times better than your partner, and he's my soulmate. So wow, what are the odds of that meeting your soulmate, who's like literally down the block? Now, he doesn't live in like.
So you think there's infidelity?
No, I think it's like magical thinking. I think it's like people want to believe so badly because you just got to have a bad relationship, right? So you want to hope that the next guy, assuming it's a girl, is not as bad as this guy or whatever. So you're looking for things that don't really exist, or you've tricked your brain.
You
into
know what?
Believing stuff
I think
that's not
a lot
reality.
of it is. I think a
right?
lot of it is like I think don't people who just constantly are in and out of relationships, don't they constantly go for the same person? I mean, ultimately they end up
There are people like
going
that.
to
yeah.
the same kind
They're
of
looking
person.
for the same kind of person, but then, like I said, I read a lot of these, like like BuzzFeed or Board Panda articles because they're amusing to me. Where it's like, I've been in a relationship with this guy, and he's like, it turns out he's not the guy, and then we had a bad breakup, and then literally the next guy they meet is not only the guy, but he's like the perfect guy. So I'm just, what are the odds of that the very next person you meet is like the complete opposite of this guy, where he's like perfect, or
Well,
is
it's
that
not
really real?
impossible. I mean, I guess if you're with the wrong person, and
But there's got to be more than one. I mean, there's got to be lots of people out there that are your soulmates.
What is a soulmate? What does that mean?
I mean, people that you can get along with and have a
Yeah.
relationship with. There's got to be lots of people like that. I mean, unless you have some like real weird shit going on and like you are a really fucked up person. I mean, most everybody is pretty much kind of the same. I mean, we pretend like they're not, and we read, news stories and all that kind of stuff. But deep inside, I mean, aren't we all kind? I mean, how many people want to wake up and like, you know what? Today is a chaos day. You know what? You know what I'd like to do? I need to stab 2 people. Okay, I need to steal some shit.
Quit my job.
Oh, that's real. There are mentally ill people.
Make some crystal meth.
Right, but those people are few and far
and they
between.
are, and some of them are in relationships.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I absolutely listen. I absolutely
Maybe Jack
can see
the
that.
Ripper had a girlfriend, right?
What? Did he? No, he didn't.
They don't
Do
know
they even
who
know
he
who
is.
Jack the Ripper is?
No,
I was
no.
just gonna say.
You ever heard of Jack the Zipper?
Oh my
Yes,
god.
that
That's
was
he
one
was
of
a real
the best
he was a real
pornos
he was,
I have
no, he
ever
was,
seen.
He was a real serial killer. Jack the Zipper was a real serial killer.
Other than Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, I'll tell you. It's too salacious to say on the air. I'll tell you what it is.
Why?
After. Well, he obviously did in women, and he basically did it through like fellatio. So,
Wait, are you saying that there is a real serial
a
killer
real serial killer.
that killed people
Yeah.
by giving women too many orgasms?
Too many blowjobs.
No.
Wait.
So Ted
Wait,
knows
you're
about
saying
poison.
there's a woman?
Just Google it. Just Google
Ted
it.
knows about
I'm not
all
gonna
these
tell you about it.
obscure poisons, and now he's on to obscure
blowjob to death.
Seriously.
Is what
serial
you're
killers
saying.
that we've never heard
Yeah.
of.
Yeah. Jack the Zipper. Google it. I'll
So
get
it
back
was
to
a
you later.
dude who
Yeah.
blew dudes
No.
and
it was-
killed them.
No, it was
It's a
he
chick.
pick up women.
Yeah,
There's a guy,
fellatio on women.
some unknown. I don't know if they ever caught the guy,
I thought
but it was,
Cunnilingus was on a woman.
it was a
Oh,
guy.
I don't know. What do I know?
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
these.
So now I know
It was a
that
guy.
who'd pick up women
Okay.
and he'd fellatio them to.
All these
death.
Yeah.
all these fandangled terms.
You're saying to me that you honestly
I just
believe
said
that
it.
this exists.
Yes,
Well, obviously he I don't know, did
Obviously.
something that killed them.
probably. I mean, it could be something else. that I'm not privy to. I'm not his biographer. Or
I mean,
anything, but
I have to be honest with you.
Talking about a razor
mean-
tongue.
Oh man, if you were
Razor-sharp tongue.
if you were going to die, I mean, there's a lot of really terrible ways to die.
yeah.
But if you were going to die, I mean, like ridiculous, endless orgasms to death. How? I mean,
Didn't Michael Douglas almost die from going down on
what?
what's her name?
What?
He got throat cancer from oral sex.
That is such a made up bullshit
It's
thing.
not.
No one believes that.
His wife Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no one believes that. How would you get cancer in your throat?
Cancer.
Cancer.
Well,
you can't lick
well,
somebody
well,
for
well,
cancer. If you have cancer and I accidentally lick your arm,
Cancer's not
or,
contagious.
or you stick your finger in my
All I
butt.
know is it was a thing. I read about it. It's a real thing. I mean, it's
Is he
it's
still
real.
alive? Is he still alive? Is Michael Douglas alive? Isn't he like 90 something?
So I'm writing. I'm gonna write.
I think
this
he's
down.
in his 80s.
Because
yeah.
Kirk Douglas died when he was like 115.
Man, it is. I mean, I know I say a lot of stupid things on the show, but
I've heard
it was.
this, but I
it
don't
was a
believe it's real.
Yeah,
it's,
well, the
it's like
doctors
it's
have
like
said
Jamie
that-
Lee Curtis has a penis and a vagina. Remember that
It's
thing?
called a hermaphrodite.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's. I mean,
Okay, Michael Douglas. I'm writing it down. Michael
I've
Douglas.
never heard of that one. That's a good one though.
Throat
What?
cancer.
he did have throat cancer.
Yeah,
But from
but
cunnilingus.
not from.
That's yes. That's what they suspected caused
But
it.
that I don't understand.
You don't have to understand. You're not a doctor.
did
I'm
she
not going to
have-
explain it now. Let's move on
Did
to
she
something
have
else.
cancer on
No,
her vagina?
no,
and he
but it's,
licked it
it's-
off.
no,
It doesn't make any
no,
sense. That
I know.
concept doesn't make any sense.
Well,
all right. Well, I guess our guest is a no show.
no, he's not. He'll be here.
Well, okay, but
He's
he's not.
on the East Coast.
I mean, I gave him the time. He's already 10 minutes late. I mean,
I'm sure he'll.
I
be
kind of
here.
made it.
Well, you know what? We'll just soldier on because
So
you
now
know
I have to. I left
because-
my movie notes at home.
Why?
I actually did.
Did you really leave all your
Yeah,
movie notes at
yeah.
home? Oh,
Did you remember anything from those notes that you can just talk about without the notes?
nope. He can't. He's Ted.
No man.
Yeah,
No man.
yeah. Ted, where you make
I
up
have this
crazy,
magic,
stupid
I
shit.
have this magic folded thing here.
Mark cannot do any of that stuff. But okay, but let's hear. it. Let's do it because we're going to talk.
I can't do it, but not right now. We have other stuff to do right now, right?
Well, can
We're-
we
we're
just
doing
can we
it.
start talking about this stuff? I mean, we
Yeah.
can just start talking about
About
it. Why
horror
not?
films,
Well,
right?
there's no guess.
So our guest was supposed to be Brad.
Brad Wiesman.
Wiesman.
Yeah.
He's
he
an
wrote,
author.
He wrote a couple of books on horror movies. He's
Okay.
like he is like the
Well-
absolute aficionado.
okay.
But hey, man, for whatever reason, he's not here.
He's been on shows. He's actually I think I'm almost positive I know what he looks like because he's been on shows about horror shows.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
you
yeah.
know how they'll
He's
have like a
super
panel
famous.
of experts come in and out. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's something that here's a good question that I would ask Mr. Wiesman. What scares you But he's not here, so I'm asking you, like,
I'll
what
play him.
What scares you, Mark? Like, what's a movie that like really makes your like supernatural? Is it more like monsters in the woods? Like, what like makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up? That just naturally, even though you know it's a movie, you know what?
Is
scares
this guy
you?
gonna ever ask a fucking question?
I'm waiting for one
Dude,
guest
that's
to say
awesome.
I'm
that.
asking it very slowly.
That
Mark.
was me. That was me playing Brad.
That is
Guy
so
gonna
awesome.
ask a question or shut up, pal.
Oh my god! All right, so Mark, scariest movie.
For me, it's really hard. I'm not. I sound stupid saying this, but it goes back when you're younger. I think that's to me was the scariest movie was Halloween. That scared the shit out of me because I saw it when I was like 7 or 8 years old. Then I saw Friday the 13th, and I know these are atypical of the movies,
Yeah.
but that scared the shit out of me. Camp in the woods and stuff like that.
We've all done that. I've been in camp.
When a
Yeah.
stranger calls, that was scary to me.
Oh, okay. So you're going like old school, like
Yeah,
What was the premise of that? I've heard of that movie. I think I've seen it. I don't remember anything about it. Like,
I remember. I don't remember the
was
the
that
premise
Hitchcock?
is
Was
like
that Hitchcock, or-
like something's happening in the house,
Yeah.
right? And then she calls the cops, and she's like, "I'm getting these phone calls."
Yeah.
And then this is how it gets
coming
scary,
from
right?
in the house.
Okay.
The calls are coming from inside the house.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was Dial M for Murder. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking
That's
of the
a
wrong
that's a
thing.
Hitchcock
Okay,
thing.
yeah,
No, but that was really scary. But
Hitchcock are
the
the ones
the
that
scariest
scared
one to
me.
me, and I is the Blair Witch Project. That was fucking terrifying.
I saw
Now,
that
see-
Piper's Alley. We talked about it, and I agree with you. I was scared shitless.
Now, see,
I was scared
I'm the opposite.
shitless.
When I saw Blair Witch Project, they were going they were through the woods. I'm like, you know what? Whatever's chasing them, please catch them and get rid of them because I want this movie to end.
See, I threw away. I came home. I saw that movie in the theater. I came home immediately, and I threw away our video camera, just in case.
I thought the Grudge was scary.
Yeah,
that
you
was scary.
said that.
to me.
Yeah, I'd never seen that, but I looked
Japanese.
at after you talked about it. I looked it up, and yeah,
That's a scary movie.
it
That
looks
That doesn't.
scary.
You know what? That you see,
That ghost wasn't messing around.
the things. You know what? I used to have nightmares about. This is funny. I used to have nightmares about was Godzilla.
Okay.
I watched all of those like monster
Yeah.
movies and stuff, and my nightmare was I'm in my house, and all of a sudden you hear,
Yeah.
right, and I'm in my house, and of course no one else is. You know, when you're in nightmare, you know your parents aren't around, there's nobody there, and all of a sudden you're just like, holy fuck,
Yeah.
Godzilla is coming to kill me, and man, it was endless. It was just it was so funny, and I would just keep on watching the movies, and I keep on having the nightmares.
Yeah.
Man, it was just so real,
So
scary.
there was one movie. I can't think of the name of it. It wasn't obviously very famous, but of course it's like the people own a funeral home with like a mortuary in the funeral home, and so you already know what's going to happen. Like whatever dead bodies are in there are going to somehow come to life. And sure enough, there's like a corpse on the table that's been there, and it's got like a little ankle bracelet
Oh,
that
yeah,
goes
you
ding ding, and
mentioned
I
that.
mentioned
I
this,
forgot
and
you-
then
I forgot
and then
what
of
the name
course
was, yeah.
the guy, whatever the part of the movie is like, he gets there and he's like ding 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 ding, like it's walking around. It's like, oh, and you know what? Honestly, even though you know it's coming, it was still pretty scary because you just wanted to see what the thing looks like. It's like you can hear in the distance, like it's very faint. It's like ding 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 ding, and you know it's not on the table anymore. It's walking around in your
Well,
place.
I'll tell you what movie scared me when I was like an early teenager, like 12, 13, was Pet Cemetery.
That was scary.
Because I saw that in a movie theater, and
Yeah. Yeah.
that
The first
scene
Pet Sematary,
where-
yeah.
and I read the book, but that movie scared me more than the book. Just seeing the cinematography of that film when that
Yeah.
kid got hit by the truck.
Because they bought a house by the highway, and it's like the guy. You knew the kid was going to wander off.
well, that's just crazy because
You
I
just
had
knew it was
read the
coming,
book and
yeah.
I knew what was
Yeah.
going to happen, but it was still scared the shit
they brought
out
because the
of
cat came back first, right? And the cat was because the whole premise
Cat
of
wasn't right.
that the Pet
Yeah.
Cemetery, the whole
That's
premise is
not
it
right.
comes back to life, but it ain't the same, And then sure enough, the cat comes back and it's like
Yeah,
it's like a mean
that
little
movie
cat.
really scared me.
yeah, no,
and
that
then,
was
then
yeah,
that
was,
same year we were
Yeah.
watching. These are all Stephen King movies, but
Yeah.
what freaked me out. This is a freak. Is Children of the Corn.
Yeah, I saw that movie.
Oh my
The
god,
Blue Man, Mordecai.
dude, Mordecai, that
I,
kid.
I hate that kid.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hate that kid. When I see him in other things, I turn it off because I hate him.
Did that movie scare you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, dude. And I grew up in Indiana with cornfields, dude. I couldn't go in a cornfield for years.
Where was that movie set? Like what state was that? I mean, because it was in America, right?
It's like
Somewhere.
Nebraska or
yeah,
somewhere.
So
yeah.
you know what the funniest thing is? When I was in college, outside of my dorm, there was a field of corn.
Yeah.
And
It wasn't a field
cannot
of dreams.
never think about
wasn't a
that.
field
No,
of
so you
dreams.
ready? So people would be like, "Oh, let's go in." We
Yeah.
come home drunk,
Yeah.
like 2:00 in the morning. Everybody's fucking
You get
wasted,
lost in there, yeah.
and they're just like, "Oh, let's go in the corn." I was like, and you know what? You do things that everybody does, and that's the one thing, man. I never ever step more than one
I couldn't
foot
go
into
in a
that
cornfield
cornfield.
for years.
So
Fucking
years
great.
ago, this is not really funny. So I think I was in the military back in the day,
Okay.
and me and my buddy were coming from a bar, and it was like one of those lonesome highways. It was like to get back to where we were, and I had to take a whiz really bad. I'm like, hey, could you pull over? It's like dark. It's like pitch black. So we pull over, and there's it's like a cornfield there. And so I go down like the embankment to take a whiz. And I think I stumbled because it's like so steep, and I like stumbled into the corn, but just like in the periphery of the corn. But it's like you go in there, it's like it's like a corn maze, right? Like those kids' corn mazes. You're just lost. You can't.
So you stumbled and got lost?
No, I got
And you
mud.
pissed your pants.
I got mud on my shoes, and I might have pissed on myself.
The moral of the story is, listen, if you go out drinking with your buddy, wear some old shoes. I mean, yeah.
He gets back in the car with an ear of corn up his ass, smelling like piss and covered in mud. What happened to you, dude?
No,
I think I got raped by a cornfield.
Would that be awesome? Did somebody do that to you? No. I was pretty fucked
fell
up. I just
into
did
it.
that to myself. Yeah. So here, I'll give you some ideas because I was reading this book. I was reading Brad's book, and so this is silent movies. This is the 20s.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wait,
Okay.
wait,
Nosferatu, the most famous
That's
one of
the
all.
movie I was gonna. That's my movie.
No,
I'm sorry.
No. This is completely different. Okay, this is the premise of a movie, a silent movie from the 1920s. Okay, a guy his wife is cheating on him. Okay, with this guy that he doesn't like, and the two of them have a kid. Okay, and then those two die, and he gets custody of the daughter. Okay, and he's so pissed off. Okay, now she is. You ready for this? He gets. I think she gets.
This is a
like 8 or
silent
9.
film?
This is a silent film. He gets custody of this girl who's 8 or 9. And what does he do? He takes her to a brothel and raises her in this brothel where she basically, at that age, for years, is basically. This is
You could say it,
1920s.
Matt. You
Is
could
having
say it.
sex with people.
Yeah.
This is happening, right?
Yeah, in the 1920s.
You ready?
Yeah, crazy.
So the whole thing happens, and her life is absolute shit. And this guy is getting revenge on his wife and this asshole who cheated. And at the end of the movie, you know what he finds out?
It's his daughter.
It's his kid.
Oh, so he thought it was the lover's kid.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Dude,
Yeah.
this is 1928.
What's the name of it?
Yeah. That's pretty clever.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
You know
All
what?
right, it's okay. We'll
I
find
can't find it.
could look
It's in the
up.
book. Is that insane?
You know.
This is 1928.
Yeah, that's pretty cutting
Because you
edge. That's
think
pretty
you
cutting
think
edge
like
back
all
then.
this weird shit that's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, that is really fucked up.
Yeah, because you wouldn't think because everything's so PC back
Right.
then. Yeah. So,
Right. So I guess I guess a lot of the horror films at the beginning were really dark.
Well,
and
what's that?
really
Remember that
screwed
movie,
up.
The Mist? Stephen King's The Mist. That was kind of a scary movie. The Mist.
The Fog?
No, it was called The Mist. It wasn't The Fog. It was The
I
Mist.
thought it was The Fog.
No, it was The Mist.
You sure?
Positive.
I mean, isn't Fog way scarier than Mist? I mean, Mist is barely.
No, but it was called The Mist, but it was a very thick mist. it was a fog-like mist.
So wait, oh man, I gotta look this up now because I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like I don't.
Or remember the movie Legion? Legion. It was kind of an obscure movie. It's like the guy. So the woman has a baby, and this baby's supposed to be the reincarnation of Christ, and the devil's trying to get the baby, and so like the devil comes and like possesses everybody.
Yes.
And like the woman, she works in a diner, and the old woman gets possessed. He goes, hey, it looks like you're having a baby. He goes, wait, I want you to know something. Your baby's gonna fucking burn. He goes, what? And then she starts crawling on the ceiling, and it gets all crazy and stuff.
What?
And then just the whole army of Satan just comes after her in this like little small diner, and they're all hunkered down. And of course, there's a
Wait, does she get away from? So this is one woman who's pregnant, working in a diner.
In a
And somehow she gets away from the legion of Satan.
Yeah, well, I guess like she's got obviously it's ridiculous because there's like Gabriel the angel who's like protecting her.
You know what?
against
I
the
know
evil.
that guy.
Yeah.
That's the guy from that tennis movie that I like so much.
Yeah,
He was in that.
It was a good movie.
I know that
It
guy.
was like scary
movie
and sort of
about tennis?
entertaining. Yeah.
So
King Richard,
no. But no. You know what? I can't think of the guy's name.
Yeah.
Swingers.
But he was in. He was in it with. There was a girl, and they're,
Yeah.
they're both pro tennis players, and they get together.
Yeah,
and
so.
I know. I like that.
Did you ever
guy.
see that movie Legion? So the guy,
Yeah, I've
remember the
seen
one
it.
scene with the
I've
ice cream truck goes ding ding ding. He comes up and he gets out and he's like.
I love Ted's sound effects.
I know.
All he could do is a bell. Every sound effect is a bell.
Well, bells are scary. I mean, when bells are ringing and it's like sinister, it's like ding 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 ding. You know something that's gonna happen.
Okay, stop
Man,
doing
dude,
bells.
I'm gonna have so many nightmares.
About
I
bells.
can't. Here, I'll give you
So
one. that-
hang on.
Oh, go
you're,
ahead.
you're talking about Nosferatu. So years ago, like 20 years ago, there was a silent film festival at the Copernicus Foundation, and it's a great theater. They have live music there, but they also have a movie screen there. So one of the feature films was Nosferatu, and it was played with a live organist.
Oh,
It was amazing.
Yeah, that's
First
pretty
of all, The movie's incredible.
It
It
is,
really
yeah. It
is.
was pretty
It's
scary, yeah.
1922.
1920. I didn't know how. it was.
The director, man, I can't remember his name. Wilhelm
It's okay.
Moreau.
Yeah.
Are you honestly trying to remember that name?
Henrik Wilhelm Moreau or something like that. It's based on Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Right.
That was written like 1895.
Yeah, there's a lot of interpretations.
But
of
he could
Dracula.
not get. He didn't. So he wanted to do the film, and he did not. Bram Stoker was dead already. He did not get the rights to. They wouldn't allow him to do it.
Yeah.
So he basically changed the name of the character to Count Orlok,
Orlok.
and then and called it Nosferatu.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know
it's
that.
basically Bram Stoker's Dracula
Okay.
in like an hour and a half, but it's it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
a really good movie.
well, here's a good question. So we all the movies we talk about, we've seen when we were a lot younger. But here's my question: what movie would you see right now as an adult, as much as we know, that could scare you right now? See, that's a secret sauce.
Does it have to be a horror film?
Not even a horror film. It could just be anything. But just like, what movie would you find disconcerting or scary?
So there's films that freak me out that are scary.
Scary. Yeah. I mean, not like scared to death scary, but just like frightening. Like, whoa, that's pretty.
Well, I think some of them don't
Thriller,
have to be.
like thriller movie, like tense movies, right? Like a tense thriller that has
Yeah, a
like
movie that you would see
yeah,
right
but
now
that
as an
doesn't. I mean,
adult.
that doesn't necessarily scare you, right? Like here, I'll give you an example. In 2018, 2 movies won Academy Awards. They were nominated for Picture of the Year: The Shape of Water and Get Out.
Okay.
Okay,
Get Out was nominated for Best Picture.
Dude, that was a great movie.
Really?
You never saw it?
No.
Oh my God, you have to watch
Okay,
this.
all right.
Get Out. Oh,
Yeah, Jordan Peele. You know Key and Peele?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Was
Jordan
it a
Peele.
comedy?
No, it was not a comedy in any. It is scary.
I love those. I love Jordan Peele. I love
dude. It is scary as shit.
Okay. What's the premise of that movie?
The
It's-
house.
man, it's-
House is haunted, right?
No, it's no haunting at all. No, there's a little party, and this guy's invited, and it's just there's no way you could ever see what happened as happening.
Okay.
It's just impossible, and it's absolutely one of the most terrifying things I've
Is
ever.
there a
called
washing
Get- it's called-
machine
it's
going
called-
in the background?
It's called Get Out.
Get Out.
Okay.
Oh
Check it
my
out.
God!
Yeah.
It's dude. I'm telling you right now, it's one of the best movies, and it's not. There's no blood. I don't
Yeah.
think there's
Well,
a single drop of blood in the
Yeah,
entire
well, those are
thing,
actually the
but it
scarier
is
movies. Yeah.
terrifying.
Because some of that, the gratuitous violence, slasher films, it's like, all right. There's this one movie. It's called, I can't think of it. It's called like Art the Clown or something like some type of slasher film. But this guy, he's clearly deranged. It's like a guy who's walking around in a full clown's outfit, and he looks like It. He looks like the character It, and he's just being treated.
Pennywise
And
the
he's being
clown.
he's being treated like a normal person. Like he goes to a diner, and he looks like he's an escaped mental patient. Everyone's just looking at him like he's treating him like he's a regular guy. It's like nobody's calling the police on this guy. And I thought it was funny. It's like it's so obvious that this guy is obviously a homicidal maniac. And it's just like it's
Isn't it? You know what? That's funny
not
because
believable.
you have to admit, if you're in a place, right, and you have to just suspend reality, but
Yeah.
if you're in a place and you see a guy who's a homicidal maniac,
Yeah.
I mean, they all look like homicidal maniacs.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to cover that up.
It is.
Yeah.
It's impossible. It's just like wait a minute, that guy's clearly a homicidal maniac.
I was in downtown Chicago. I want to say this is in the last I want to say it's about 5-7 years ago, but I remember this. So there's a guy on the street. He's tall. He's bald. He's dressed like an angel, like in a full bodysuit, but not like a good angel, like a scary angel. And he's got like some type of glitter makeup on. And there's people taking pictures with this guy. And this guy, he looked like he escaped from Bellevue Mental Hospital. I mean, like. He looked, he's taking a picture with kids. He's, parents are just
taking a picture with kids. You're in the middle of a big city.
Yeah.
A guy dressed like a terrifying angel. And he's like,
Yeah.
you know what? Take your sister over there. I want to take a picture with this guy. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, why does he have a knife? That's weird. Why does he have? Yeah, he's got 2 knives. Oh,
Yeah.
that's really. There's 2 kids and 2 knives. That's nice. Yeah, that really. I don't know, man. That really freaks me out.
Yeah.
I just don't get that part. All right, so when I'm thinking about this stuff, I ran into some movies and I was looking through this, and this actually works out. And you guys tell me if this works out. There's a movie called They Came From Within. Okay, it is a movie. You ready? It's a movie about a sexually transmitted disease.
I was going to say it sounds like an impregnation.
yeah, that kills people. Yeah, and so this disease
Isn't that called AIDS?
this disease,
Yeah.
and people go around there having sex, and then basically they basically rot. This, I mean, it's really gross.
Yeah, yeah.
It's super gross. But they rot from within.
Yeah.
They rot from within. And here's the weirdest part of this, right? Because I never saw it, but I'm reading about it. And the guy who's writing about it says, here's the weirdest thing. He goes, at some point, he goes, like 8 kids die. And he's just like, he goes,
In
that
the film?
yes, because of this sexually transmitted disease. And he goes, that was the worst part of this movie. He goes, the movie was horrible. He goes, the fact that you know how this disease is like done. And he goes, like, yeah, like 8 kids die. He's like, I don't want to watch this anymore. Yeah.
Are there any scary like zombie movies? I mean, like for example,
They're all scary.
Z with Brad Pitt. By the way, that was kind of scary.
World War Z was the
World War Z.
worst movie of all time.
What's a good? I mean, not like Living
No,
Dead, but
the book was
what's
great.
what's a good like zombie movie that
I mean,
doesn't?
they're all zombie movies now. Everything's a
Yeah,
zombie movie.
yeah.
Can you even have a movie that doesn't have zombies?
But the first.
I mean, AMC is completely built on zombies.
But the first like Living Dead movie in black and white back, I think, came out in the 1960s. That was pretty scary because it was very realistic. I mean, it wasn't
Yeah.
like special effects. It was just people that
Dawn
looked like
of
they
the
were
Dead, right?
Yeah,
Or-
they
yeah,
looked like they were
something like that.
alive.
Yeah.
And they're not alive, so that was pretty scary because it was very realistic. Like anything with like too much special effects or supernatural, it's not
The
believable.
one Woody Harrelson did a zombie movie. Zombie Apocalypse, is that what it was called?
Oh yeah, he did it. He made
Is that-
2 of them. They were kind of like a comedy thing.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
it's got to be.
Yeah, that's where they killed Bill Murray, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't see him.
Oh, so in the first, okay, so it's
With
funny.
a baseball bat or something, or you got to
No,
bash their heads.
I think
right?
he he shoots him. Like so these guys are looking around. They're trying to find zombies, right? And this is so funny. It's Bill Murray, and they're walking around. They find all these people. It's kind of funny, and then they find we barely find anybody who's alive, and they find Bill Murray, who's Bill Murray, right? And he's living
like his name is Bill Murray in the movie.
No, he is Bill Murray.
Okay.
He's
playing
he
himself.
made it.
Yeah.
He made it, and he's somewhere in California, and he's got this big mansion, and he's like, "Come on in." He goes, "I haven't seen anybody in years." He goes, "The last 2 people I saw, they died, and blah blah blah." And they're just hanging out, and this is like the middle of the movie, and they're just hanging out, and like for 15 minutes, everybody's just having a good time. And for some reason, Bill Murray, he dresses up like a zombie to scare this kid. Right? And he walks up, he goes, ah! And the kid turns around and just blows his fucking brains out. I mean, it was just a great scene. And he goes, oh man, he goes, what'd you do? And the guy goes, you killed Bill Murray. He goes, he was dressed like a zombie. He goes, but it was Bill Murray, man. You just killed Bill Murray.
I want to see that movie, but now I'm not going to see it.
That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of other parts to it. Very, very formulaic.
You know what was scary? It was Caddyshack 2.
Oh my God.
Jackie Mason.
Jackie Mason.
The lack
And
of
Dan
jokes.
Aykroyd played Bill Murray's character,
The
Carl.
lack of jokes.
Carl Scheckler or whatever.
The lack of jokes in that movie was very frightening.
You
compared
know,
to the
you know,
Caddyshack.
my cousin's husband took my brother and I were in Florida that summer, and he's a big golfer and he's a big fan of Caddyshack, and that the movie was at the theaters, and he took us to see it at the theater.
So my
And
question is,
he's a big Caddyshack guy. And-
how can Caddyshack 2 be so diametrically bad?
oh, there's a whole
compared
story.
to Caddyshack 1?
There's a whole story.
It's like they
behind
almost like
that.
tried to make it purposely bad, and they succeeded tremendously.
Well, there's nobody. I mean, the original. I mean, everything that went into the original didn't go into the second one. They just made. They were trying to make money off a franchise.
But you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? That goes into the expression "you can't chase a good time." So Caddyshack was iconic, and they tried to replicate or do something similar, and it just like you said. I remember you told me a story years ago. Like you were at some bar out of town, everyone was real cool, the vibe was great, and then you went back to the same bar like the next year, and it was completely
Yeah, it was a
the
completely
opposite.
different
Yeah.
vibe,
You were looking for the same vibe, and that vibe was gone.
Well, here, I'll give you sequel-wise. I bet you guys didn't know this. You know there are 25 Amityville horror movies?
It's a lot.
25. It
And
is
it's
by
all,
far.
It's
crazy.
all untrue.
Yeah, it's all bullshit.
Yeah,
but
it's
yeah,
all bullshit.
they
But
made
there-
25
That's
of those
crazy.
movies.
But there
That
really is-
original ones from the '70s scared the
that
shit
was,
out of me.
That was terrifying.
But there really is an Amityville. There really is a Ronnie DeFeo who's serving
I
life
know.
in prison
Yeah,
for
yeah,
murdering
no,
his
no,
family.
no,
Yeah, so,
those
yeah.
things happen, but
Yeah.
they try blaming it on like the house and all that, right?
Yeah.
Where they try to create this whole thing,
Yeah.
and then they redid it with Jason Patrick, I think.
Overrated actor. Not
But they redid Amityville Horror. They tried to redo the one from the '70s.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that one from the '70s?
I saw
that
the
was
original.
Yeah, with the
one,
blood
yeah.
in the wall.
That movie.
That was terrifying. I
had
forgot
nightmares
about that.
forever
I
about
forgot
that
how
movie.
scary that was.
And
Marching
that and
bands, yeah.
American Werewolf in London.
Dude,
I saw American Werewolf. I saw that in the theater in New York City. That was pretty scary. Where he
Dude,
like turns into
that
the werewolf. That
was
was scary. Yeah.
Great film.
that
That was a good
was
movie.
so.
Yeah.
I will tell you this. So
That was a
again,
good
reading through this book, 2 things really changed horror. Number one, makeup artists.
Okay.
when they
Yeah.
started.
when he
Right,
the
when they started
conversion,
doing
yeah.
that, and then from there, the next thing was special effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, the conversion from him going to and turn into a werewolf was crazy.
Dude.
Yeah, that
that
shape. They
was-
showed him. They actually
Yeah.
showed the whole thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that in the theater when I was like 11 years old
Yep.
in New York City. That's pretty scary. So I mean, so my question is, when you're a kid, obviously
Yeah,
you're
but it
going
was
to be.
American Werewolf in London. It's not like why would you scared? You were in New York.
You're gonna be, could have been anywhere.
Yeah. No, but that's. I mean, that is like insanely scary.
Yeah.
You know the chicken heart that ate New York City.
What?
That's a Fat Albert tale. The chicken heart that ate New York City.
The chicken heart.
Actually, if you want to see
Boom, boom,
something really scary,
boom. Hopefully, I love that.
Grand Central Station, New York City, back in the 70s and 80s, was filled with like mentally ill homeless people. That was pretty scary in real life. Horror movie needed for that one. So
Well, what's that? Was it Creep Show? Right? Where,
I
where
saw
they're in
Creepshow.
They're in the
Yeah,
thing.
there's a new one.
They're
out,
in the
too.
they're in the truck, and then is it the chick turns to Dan Aykroyd or whoever's in the truck with her and goes, "You want to see something?" Really
No,
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
no, that's not Creepshow.
That's not Creep Show.
Oh.
No, that's not Dan. That's Dan Aykroyd and a guy. Yeah, he picks up a hitchhiker.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
you wanna see
Oh, yeah.
something
Twilight
really-
Zone. That's a Twilight
yeah,
Zone.
Twilight Zone. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So like
Oh,
Creepshow, I
man.
like those movies where there's like 5 stories in one. They're like mini stories. So Creepshow
Let
had
the midnight special.
had the crate. They had the
Yes.
crate. The crate. They had the crate.
Shine a light on
The crate
me.
was the one in the Creepshow, and then I
Yeah.
can't remember the other two, but it was pretty scary. So
Oh, the one with Adrian Barbeau.
yeah, like he's the guy's trying to get her to go to the crate because he wants to get rid of her.
Oh man. Well, that's the one with Leslie Nielsen
Leslie
and Ted
Nielsen?
Danson.
Yeah, yeah.
Where
Yeah.
they
bury
bury
in
him
the
up to his
sand.
neck.
That's
the
Tales
sand.
of the Crypt.
Tales of the Crypt.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
Tales of the Crypt.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
No,
that
it's-
is a fantastic.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
fantastic. Yeah, Tales of the Crypt.
Yeah. So there's Creepshow, Tales of the
Tales
Crypt.
from the Crypt, right?
Yeah,
Tales
yeah.
from the Crypt.
Tales from the
So I
Crypt.
like those movies
Oh,
where there's like mini stories all rolled. Like there's like 3 stories. It's like a buffet.
See, I know my horror films.
Yeah.
You do.
See, I like those type of.
All right,
those
so
type of
so
movies.
here's some things that don't exist anymore, and there's still vampire movies. But when's the last time there's no more werewolves, mummies, Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Those are gone.
Well, no, De Niro just did a Frankenstein movie a few years ago.
What?
Yeah, Mary Riley's. Yeah, they did a Frankenstein movie with De Niro. I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most of these Frankenstein
It
movies now
was-
they're kind of like they're almost like a. Remember Gene Wilder did a Frankenstein movie? It was like pretty-
yeah.
I
Oh,
can't
that's
remember what
Young
it's called.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, Young Frankenstein.
Dude, that's a great film.
Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein. Yeah.
Oh man, that is. You know what? I did see. I did read a bunch of books, a Frankenstein book, where he's immortal, and he's kind of he goes from being this bad dude, and then I know it's kind of stupid, but he ends up being like kind of like a helpful Frankenstein. He's not quite as terrifying like physically.
So they probably used a different brain at Abby Normal.
Abby something.
Abby
Abby,
Normal.
yeah. But yeah, I just that was actually really, really good. Okay, so have you guys ever seen? Because I was racking my brain. I was going to ask Brad this: a serial killer movie with a chick.
Yeah, what's the one that won the Academy Award? The one with Eileen. She played Eileen Wuornos. She's the hot chick. She played
What?
she played the female serial killer
Oh,
in
that's
Florida.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, the one
Charlize Theron.
Monster. The
Yeah,
movie
Monster, yeah, Charlize
she's the
Theron.
female serial killer in Florida who shoots like 6
Oh,
guys.
is that when Charlize Theron was unattractive?
Theron,
yeah, they tried
For
to make
one
they-
time
they-
in her life. They
tried-
did.
They
It
had to-
worked.
It had to be heavy makeup though to make her unattractive. Yeah. So.
Good God.
Yeah, Monster. Yeah.
Monster. Yeah, that won an Academy Award for her, I think, back in the day. So yeah,
But she
there
was a real live serial killer.
she was a real life. They executed her. She got
There's
executed in
she's only-
Florida.
There's
Yeah.
only been a couple that documented serial
No, but the
killers
funny
that are
thing,
women.
but
yeah.
actually, most of the female serial killers are. I hate to say this, but they're poisoners, and they're back from the 1800s. And there was actually the most famous one that you probably never heard of. Her name was
Typhoid
Why would you
Mary.
hate to say that? I feel like this is your jam, man.
Well, of course. Well, so I mean, just because I know more than the women who run that crime podcast, I didn't want to, overstep my boundaries. But yeah, there was a female serial killer. Back
Which
in the,
one, Ted? There's
back
like a
in the
million of them.
No, back in the 1800s, her name was Belle Guinness, and she actually would advertise to men about like she had boarding rooms for rent, and they would all like disappear. And I think she ended up killing like 50, 60 guys, and she disappeared. They never found her, and so she kind of got away with it. Belle Guinness. Yeah.
Okay, so here's a weird thing, and I don't know if you guys know this. Did you guys ever read the book The Devil in the White City?
Yeah, I did.
That's
yeah.
about H.H. Holmes.
Yeah,
Right.
I read that book.
I
Yeah.
saw something recently that said that wasn't true. That it was
No,
all made
so
up.
Yeah, it was.
I will
yeah.
tell you this, so-
Not true, but like he didn't kill like 200 people. I think
No.
he killed. He was more of like a swindler. He was more like a con artist, and he might have killed like a few people, but not
They
100
only-
people that they're like hundreds of people as they're claiming.
One person, I think that they.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He killed one.
Yeah,
And
that
you know,
they-
and the funny thing is, House is actually in the former house. It's like a post office in Englewood. It was like
no, it's gone. They tore
No,
it down.
but it's in South Wallace, like in Englewood. But that was like it's called Murder Mansion. Supposedly had all these rooms. These like
They tore that down, and they tore it down.
but yeah,
tell
he
you
didn't
what,
kill
yeah.
as many people as
Yeah.
like they claim he
That
did.
is
Yeah,
a,
so.
that is
That book's fantastic. I'm gonna
one of
tell
the
you-
best books I've ever read.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you why that book is so good, in my opinion, is because the way they flash back and forth
Yeah.
to when this is all going on during the World's Fair, and then and then the historic value that it brings about the history of Chicago. That's obviously all true with Marshall Field and Burnham,
Yeah, just
and
that
all
whole
those
thing.
guys involved in it. Oliphant and it's amazing talking about the World's the World Fair, and the rebuild of the city and the city, the home of the skyscraper, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
and then they go to H.H. Holmes and all that, but that book was good, man.
Well, here's
I
the
actually
thing.
read that book twice.
Some of the worst.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
The
I read
worst,
it twice.
the worst serial killers in the world aren't even in America. I think there's one guy in Brazil. I think he killed like.
Bullshit.
No,
First
no.
of all, America has the best serial killers. Okay.
So this guy killed about 300. Either there's one guy who killed.
What?
There's one guy who killed like 300 boys, and then there's one guy who killed about 300 girls, and they let him go because I think like he's in whatever prison he is in like the South America. You can only serve no more than 16 years, which is insane. So they let this guy go. Like he's in the population, and they know he did it. And I'm just surprised nobody like done him in. You know, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
how do you not just finish him off?
Yeah, I mean, he's like one of the most prolific serial killers of all time. But he's in the countryside of whatever poor South American country. So yeah, it's not like there's CCT footage of him. So I mean, he could do whatever he wants. There's no police. There's no nothing. He's just there in some
Okay,
indigenous.
see, that's. I
Yeah.
tell you what, that's a horror movie
Yeah.
right there.
And they interviewed the
No,
guy.
think
too.
about that.
They
No,
interviewed
yeah.
the guy.
Think
Yeah.
about that.
That's a known. Yeah.
That's a real
Does he have to register like a sex offender?
No.
He's a register in his neighborhood that he's
registered
Yeah.
serial killer.
Yeah.
Hi. Excuse me. Yeah.
I think they actually-
My name's
He's
Matt.
got a script. He's got to read the script.
They interviewed the guy.
Yeah.
I think they interviewed the guy on like I think within the last like 10 years, and this is after they know he did it. They know he committed all these murders. He served whatever the maximum sentence they could give him. He didn't get. There's no death
I
penalty.
feel like
it's really weird.
I feel like if
Yeah.
you killed one person 16 and then the next person another 16, I just feel like when you get to in the hundreds, there has to be a better
I'm just saying.
penalty.
I'm just saying. I can't believe there's no vigilante. I'm just surprised that people knowing what because he's
Are you
obviously.
condoning
he's-
vigilante justice?
I mean, the guy's world famous. I'm just surprised like nobody would snuff this guy out. It's just weird that they would let him walk
Yeah, I
among.
mean, if he killed somebody, they got
yeah,
relatives.
he's like world famous.
Somebody's
I
brother.
can't think of the guy's name, but he's like world famous.
He's so famous you can't think of his name, and Mark and I have never heard
yeah,
of him.
exactly. Yeah. So
That
I think it's like Pedro Alonso Lopez. That's his name, Pedro Alonso Lopez, the monster of the Andes.
Yeah.
So where's the Andes?
Hold on, and everybody.
South America.
South America.
Isn't that Chile?
Chile.
Chile. Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody listening, Ted came up with that after what 2 minutes. I want you to think about where he is. Think about that.
And
Yeah.
he did it after he hit himself in the back of the head twice. Sometimes stuff gets stuck back there, and Ted's got to knock it forward.
What I'm doing?
Get to the frontal lobe. Loaf. What do
Okay.
you call the brain? Loafs? What are they? Loaf?
Leaves.
The two
I think
the
they're
two
leaves.
U's.
Like
The two
table
U's.
leaves?
The two
Yeah,
U's.
it's like a table.
The
Yeah,
U's.
and you can extend your brain a little bit by putting in the leaves. But if you don't pull evenly, it takes forever,
did you
and
think-
your dad is going to yell at you.
Do you think Silence of the Lambs was a scary movie?
Oh, yeah. That
I
freaked
did.
me out.
Yeah.
I did. That was pretty fucking scary, man.
The end.
I mean, yeah, and that guy. I mean, he's got a chick in a hole. I mean,
Bill.
the basket of lotion.
What's his name? Billy. His name's.
I don't know. He's
Yeah.
a good actor.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy's great. He was in Monk. He was the police chief in Monk.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he was really good. Okay,
Yeah.
so here's the
Buffalo
weird thing.
Bill. Buffalo
Bill.
Yeah.
So almost the major holidays all have a terrible, gruesome killer movie
Oh, yeah.
for them, right? Halloween. I didn't know this. Thanksgiving and
Valentine's
there's actually,
Day.
Yeah,
The one with
there's
the
actually
miners.
another one coming out
The
on
miner?
Thanksgiving. A big guy who does it is coming out with another one.
Is this about killing turkeys or people?
People.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely people. So here I'm going to give you guys 3 holidays.
There's a Christmas one, too.
Yeah, there's there's a couple of Christmas ones. Yeah, Silent Night, Deadly
He
Night.
shoves,
I heard
yeah,
that.
that's the
I
one.
heard
And
that.
then
And
shoves
then-
people down
yeah.
the chimney and
Yeah,
stuff.
and then there was another one just recently, like Santa Claus, where he's he like is a vengeful murderer.
Yeah.
Wait,
like,
wasn't there
coming
just a
back.
Winnie the Pooh movie like Blood and
Blood
Honey?
and Honey?
Yeah. That's
you,
like,
you guys heard that some 4th grade teacher played.
We've been talking about that for a long time.
Yeah, some 4th grade teacher played that for her class.
Nice.
I got to be 100% honest with you, as a former 4th grade teacher. And she said, "This is her defense." She said that the kids asked for it and be like, "Hey, can we see this horrible slasher movie?" No. Do you have something
What,
else?
what if we
Yeah,
ask? What if
no.
they asked for fentanyl and crystal meth? Would you give them that too?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I just thought that was hilarious. Okay, so here are 3 dates that do not have any movies, and you guys can think about it. You don't have to do it right away.
Wait, are they
right?
holidays?
3 holidays
So can we
that
guess
don't
what
have
they
no
are?
no no that don't have murders, that don't have like a serial like a monster movie type thing. Okay, you ready?
Can't we guess?
No, I'm just going to tell you. I want you to think about what could be.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, 4th of July does not have any monster, scary slasher movie that
Okay.
goes along with it. Indigenous Peoples Day. Yeah, we know it's
I was
Columbus
going
Day.
to say Juneteenth, but okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's just started. And Labor Day.
Okay.
Those 3 are the 3 that I looked up that have no slasher movie like thing with it. So as we're talking now, and in the back of your mind, I can always see Mark thinking about this.
I got.
If
yeah.
you know what, just
I already
just
got
think about it.
I already got my first horror movie. So for Labor Day, when they overturned Roe v. Wade, that's a horror show for a lot of people. To be quite honest with you, so.
Was that on Labor Day?
No, I mean, but it might. But
How
you
do
know,
we turn this into? We're right back on politics now.
no, I'm just saying, like, you know, that's actually people's worst nightmare in real life. You know,
But how does that go together? I don't understand how that goes together.
you give labor, you give birth, and abortion's been overturned. Connect the dots, labor.
Okay, but now here, I'm going to go
Not
one more.
working.
What if you turn that movie Labor Day into women having kids and women have babies, and those babies all become like murderers, like everyone
Murderers, yeah.
born on Labor Day. See how easy this is,
Or what about a
and people will watch this shit.
what about a United Auto Workers strike? Labor Day, just like they're striking. Labor, we're not giving
Ted,
you any
it's a
labor
holiday.
until we get more money.
Ted, it's a holiday.
Actually, I didn't know how much those guys made. You know, so those people who work for like Ford, you know how much they make? They're making $85 an hour. They
What?
make $85 an hour already,
To press a button so a machine puts something in something.
and they want a 30% raise,
Well, that's because
and they want to work less hours.
That's
hey, I'm
I'm in the
siding.
wrong- I'm in the wrong
I'm
profession.
siding with the worker. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but
yeah, but at some point,
just
don't you
saying.
price yourself out of? At some point,
did you see the numbers that they gave themselves? Do you see the profit margins, what they're making and what they're paying the executives are making relative to the worker?
Yeah, that's
Their
true.
pay
That's-
increase over the last 5 years
Yeah.
since COVID. How much money they've gotten?
Well, CEOs make ridiculous sums of money regardless of
Ridiculous.
industry.
Yeah, I don't
so.
think you know what. I don't think you can put those two things together and,
Well,
and
share
yeah,
the
I
wealth.
Wish it was,
it's
well,
like share the wealth. They're
well-
talking about a pay increase, and you know, I don't know. I
Well,
mean,
well, you know what? In that industry, sharing is not caring. I'll tell you what. So there was a viral thing actually, just on a side note. So I was a woman CEO, and she seems like a horrible person, by the way. Some small boutique furniture company, and it went viral because she was on a Zoom call with her workers, and she was basically screaming at her workers, who I guess are already like underpaid and overworked. And she's like, "You need to find a way to find us 20." She said, like, we need to find a way to get us find us $26 million in terms of like, so you need to sell more of our furniture. And then we were thinking, well, why don't we just fire you since you're being overpaid, and then we'll save $26 million right there. Because you're useless.
Wow, that you know what?
Problem solved.
That is a really tough concept.
Yeah.
All right, so just to stay on this, have you guys seen Psycho? Have you guys seen the full movie Psycho?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Anthony Perkins.
You realize I have never seen that movie.
yeah, I know you said that
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
They redid it with
Yeah, they redid it a couple of times. I
what the
think,
hell's
yeah.
his name? The big lummox from Loyola High School.
The Big Lummox. I don't
Chicago.
know who that is.
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn. Yeah.
I am
yeah.
not a fan.
It was good. I watched that one too. That was good.
Anthony,
a fan.
Anthony Perkins, obviously, you know, and that's another scary because that was in the 1960s or 70s, and this is before, you know, when you think about it, it's like
it was in the 50s.
yeah, but like when mental
or maybe no 60s.
yeah,
gotta
but
be the
but I'm saying like mental illness, like people who have like split personalities or they're schizophrenic, where you know that wasn't really understood back then. So that was like a classic case. Like if you didn't know what you were
Yeah.
looking at, you would just think he's like batshit crazy. But obviously has some serious mental.
My dad,
issues,
my
you
dad
know, so-
saw that. My dad was born in '53 or whatever. So my dad saw that movie, and he stopped taking showers. He wouldn't get in.
Yeah.
He started taking baths. He would not.
Yeah.
That's an honest to God story.
Yeah.
My dad said he didn't take a shower for like 5 years.
Yeah, so that's
he only
scary.
took
So,
baths.
so when a grown man,
But- wouldn't
Did
get
you
in the
ever see I
shower.
Spit on Your Grave? Because
no, so
you
I'm
wouldn't
saying,
take baths either.
but that's a good barometer of what's scary. Like when a grown man sees a movie and
Well, he wasn't grown. He was a
Well, I'm
teenager.
just saying, but refuses to like I'm not going to take a shower anymore because I just saw this movie because you know Janet Leigh got stabbed in the shower with that.
That was, that's funny.
That's a
That is
scary movie,
literally.
I-
I've only seen maybe 45 seconds of that, and
Yeah.
that is that thing where
Yeah,
she comes in or he comes in, whatever, dressed like whatever. That's it. That's
yeah,
the only
just
part
like
I've
his
ever
mother.
seen.
Yeah, yeah. So, But I mean, but like
good.
when you didn't, if you didn't know anything about the movie and you saw it, like it was really a shocking ending because you weren't expecting that at all.
They made like 3 or 4 of those.
Yeah, but I mean, after the first one,
Yeah.
it's like you know
And
what's
he was
coming.
they did the second part though, like in the 80s.
Yeah.
They did Cycle 2 like in the 80s.
Yeah, but I mean, if you never saw
And
that
it was
movie,
starring him
that
as-
ending, you would not see that ending coming. You know, I mean,
Oh,
because
no.
we talk about how movies are predictable and you stop watching because you know it's coming. But like, you know,
I do.
think that was definitely a curveball. I mean, you did not see that one coming at all. You know,
Yeah, no, that's I mean, and that's kind of cool. Here, I'll give you something that's really crazy. Okay, there's a movie in the '70s, and the '70s were horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when all the slasher stuff. That's when
Yeah,
it all
Texas
started.
Chainsaw
was that
Massacre.
Rosemary's Baby? Or was that like 60 in the 60s?
I think that was the '60s, Omen and Rosemary's
Yeah.
Baby and stuff, because all those
That was
actually
scary
won
shit.
Academy Awards.
Yeah,
You know,
69
but they
actually, I think.
So there's a movie called Cannibal Holocaust.
yeah. Okay, never heard of it.
Okay, so it is the movie was banned in tons of countries.
Okay.
It was really horrible. It was super violent,
Yeah.
super
It
sexual.
doesn't sound.
Dude, it was like snuff. It was like a snuff film.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the movie's banned. Everything's done. It's all done. People, it's only shown a few places. In fact, they didn't start showing it until like 25 years later, kind of like underground, and that's how it came back out again.
Yeah.
The cops get it. Somebody sees it, sends it to the cops, and they show it, and the cops believe. Now this is awesome. The cops arrest the director because they believe that everything that they saw was real.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good though when you believe it that much. Oh, so what's the concept? What's the premise of that movie?
It's just like this murder and sex and all this kind of stuff.
It's called Cannibal what?
Cannibal Holocaust.
Holocaust, okay.
Now, here's the funny part. The director told all the actors to hide out. So part of their contract was they had to not be seen for 1 year to make everybody think that this was a
So they
real
couldn't be in another
snuff
film or anything.
There couldn't be in anything.
I
He needed to
faintly-
make everybody think that it was a
kinda
snuff
remember
film.
this.
And so this guy, the director, after being arrested, right, and he was about to be tried, he had to contact all these people, and they had to come in and prove
Yeah.
that
That
they
they
were
weren't dead,
alive.
That's
because
actually pretty-
They believed
that's pretty-
it was an actual murder.
That's actually pretty clever when you think about it.
Isn't
I mean,
that-
it's great marketing.
Dude,
you know?
that is
perfect.
awesome marketing,
Yeah.
and that is back in the day. And this tiny little movie,
Yeah.
I mean, that is fucking awesome.
It's
I mean,
clever.
it'd
That's
be
when you can get
impossible.
away with that, though, right?
It'd be really hard to do right
Yeah.
now. It'd be really, really
Yeah,
hard
so
to
I'm
do
thinking,
right now.
like, so what movie could they make right now? I think, like I said, I know there's a new movie. I can't think of the name, but like I actually saw it on like Yahoo News where it's like it's like a quote unquote shocking ending, blah blah blah. But it's new. It came out within the last like couple of months. I can't think of the name of it. I'll have to
So,
Google it.
Halloween-
A shocking ending. You know what that is? that 7 idiots couldn't figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Halloween is not all about like gory horror films, right?
There's no blood in it.
So what?
There's no blood in Halloween. I saw the making thing. You don't
Oh,
see.
the movie Halloween? You
Yeah.
mean? No, I'm talking about Halloween the holiday. We're talking about horror films and stuff.
Yeah, it's not
So-
really a scary thing.
Well, here's where I'm going. Every Halloween there's all sorts of cartoon and Halloween specials. That was one of my favorite things growing up for Halloween was all the Halloween specials. Like, you know,
Charlie
Brown
Brown
Halloween. It's a great
Yeah.
It's a great pumpkin.
Didn't Charlie Brown just get rocks all the time?
Yeah.
What
I
the
got a
fuck? I mean,
rock.
when Charlie Brown grew up, I mean, he could have been a mass murderer. That was literally,
he was abused.
Yeah. I mean, what the fuck? They pulled the football away from him.
When's
They
the
gave
100
him
was
rocks.
Lucy,
when is the
yeah.
100 years up on that?
Oh yeah. When's the
like
patent
30
expire on that one?
No,
20 years,
but
30
seriously, how is Charlie Brown as an adult? I mean, that would be a fun thing to do. Charlie Brown as an adult.
The
How screwed up
Family
would he
Guy
be?
did that. They always fuck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
how
do.
screwed up would
They
Charlie
show him,
Brown
he's
have
like
to be?
yeah, he's screwed up as an adult.
Yeah.
He's
I
still
mean,
got
that
the
is-
same shirt on. He's got like a nose ring. He's all tattooed up.
What happened? What happened to Pigpen? That's all I want to know.
You,
Did he ever take a shower?
You know what? Exactly what you think happened to Pigpen. Yeah.
I always got Linus and Pigpen. Linus played the piano, and then there was Pigpen who was
Yeah,
like you
just
said the
how
dirt.
could you
He had
get
this
those two
dirt
mixed up?
He was just dirty. Yeah.
Well, The Simpsons have the best Halloween House of Horrors.
Dude,
The
those are
Simpsons.
Yeah.
great.
Those
Every
are
year.
every year. It's I look forward to
It's
that
good.
every year.
Those are.
What-
I think it's
absolutely
probably
hilarious.
coming on soon.
Well, the funny thing with those shows like The Simpsons, I think it's like the most successful like animated. I think it's been on the air for like 20+ plus years, right?
I think it's
No,
almost
way
30 years
more
now.
than
yeah.
20
And
years.
the funny thing is, I think they have twice as many writers for that show than a normal sitcom. They have twice as many writers for The Simpsons than
Yeah, a lot of famous
A
people
run-of-the-mill.
wrote for The Simpsons. Conan
Yeah.
O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, I
To
mean,
name a few.
I'm a big Community. It's not on not on TV anymore. I think it was like lasted 5 years, but the show Community,
Yeah, I remember that show.
and they would do. I mean, they had Halloween things that were just absolutely hilarious, man. I mean, you have such you can do anything in Halloween,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? I mean, you just have that freedom to do so many things. That I like the concept of it. Here, I'm going to freak you out, Teddy. Your favorite movie, your favorite scary movie, is I Spit on Your Grave, right?
You know,
It's his most memorable.
Yeah.
I don't even actually remember too much about it now.
Okay.
So I thought when I was like 7.
I'm gonna freak everybody out who's listening right now. I Spit on Your Grave had a full 30 minute gang rape scene. Can you fucking believe that?
And this is back in the when did it come
This
out?
is back in the
When did
70s.
it come
The
out?
70s are
when,
bad.
when did it come out? Do
Dude,
you-
in the 70s.
Yeah.
70s are screwed up. Can you imagine that? A movie had
Yeah.
for 30 full minutes.
That's
And
a
I'm
lo-
not talking
that's a
about
long
I'm not
time.
talking about like I'm rounding up like it's 25.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about 31.
Yeah.
For 30 full screen minutes.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the movie Jodie Foster was in where she was?
Jesus.
That
Yeah, I
was
know.
Yeah.
It blows your
I
mind.
can't even I'm thinking about the actors and on set as that's going
Yeah,
on.
30
Yeah.
minutes is
I mean,
that.
Cut.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it takes days to film 30 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, just think about how messed up. I mean, that was a time when
I
things
mean,
were.
it does take days to film 30 minutes
Yeah.
if you think about it,
Yeah.
right? A
Well-
movie's 90 minutes long.
What was I looking at?
Third of the movie.
So Halloween, they used. I think it was either Halloween. Yeah, I think it was Halloween. They used a Panavision camera.
Yeah.
I was watching this thing,
Okay.
Yeah.
and it could only record for 5 minutes.
Huh.
No, I'm sorry, 15 minutes. That's it, 15 minutes. So every shot that they had could only last 15 minutes. That's it. That's the maximum.
By design, obviously.
By design.
What was the purpose of that? Did they say?
I guess it's the Panavision camera. As it walked, it made everything smooth. I don't know. I mean, we don't notice it now, probably, but and they wanted to make it like the killer was walking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they bought this super expensive camera. It was like 1/5 of their entire budget.
Yeah.
Was this thing so that you could follow. You know, you could see the killer
Yeah, well,
walking,
you see
and
his
it didn't
point
bob
of view.
up and
Yeah,
down.
it's
Yeah.
you see him looking through his mask. Yeah,
It didn't bob
Yeah.
up and down and go crazy.
Yeah.
Here,
Yeah.
I'll blow your mind. You ready? There's a movie called
You already did.
Pillow of Death.
Never heard of that one.
It's some 50s movie, but when I started thinking about it, I'm like, think about all the different movies of dumb things.
Yeah.
I mean, this was about a pillow. I mean, I'm just trying to think of all the stupid movies that I've seen. Is there anything stupider than a pillow? Is there?
Yeah, there was one.
Was it a possessed pillow?
I don't know, man. It was something where like the pillow was telling this guy to kill his wife, and then he did, and then the pillow told him to kill these other people because they were bad, and he was smothering people
With the same pillow. Okay,
with this like talking pillow.
Yeah.
I mean, is that fucking great?
So it's like the original Chucky doll, except it's a pillow.
Yeah. Well, here I was also thinking. Think about how many body parts that people had put on or got like whatever that came alive and killed people. Right? Because I know for sure there was one where a guy got, I don't know what it's called, the hand or some, I don't know, whatever it was, the arm.
The hand,
Yeah.
yeah.
And,
That's
and he
one-
got
that's
he got
one.
a convicted killers.
Yeah,
so
that's
the
right.
Oh,
guy-
yeah.
Yeah, guy
So
was-
Or you get the
hand,
heart.
yeah.
You get a transplant. You get the heart of a murderer.
Right, and then you start murdering,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And you know what I was thinking? What body part hasn't been put on somebody and caused them to murder?
a toe, a baby toe.
Would that be? But what if
Ted, you want a toe?
Okay,
You
but
get
what
your
if you
toe by
did
3
that?
o'clock.
Here, Ted, I'll make a movie. I'll make a movie right now. We could make this movie. You get the toe of somebody, and he just goes around kicking people to death.
Ted's got a guy. I'll get you a toe by 3.
I get your toe by 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
It's a big deal.
it was so funny. It was so funny that all these different body parts and all these different things. Like I saw one where a killer got electrocuted, and it went through the electricity. It went through the electrical grid.
Yeah.
And it went to some poor guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
who was-
I know that movie. Yeah.
Electrification, or I don't know what it was called.
Yeah, I know that
Yeah,
movie.
and,
Yeah,
and as he's plugging in like a
yeah,
hair
that
dryer,
movie's actually scary.
it was. It is not scary. It was
It's
stupid.
creepy, dude. It's weird.
It was, but it went through, and as he plugged in his hair dryer,
Yeah.
he became that killer,
Yeah.
Ted. Yeah, it was just the thing that you can have is just so funny.
What was that one movie where it's like
We should have somebody on, Ted. that
Talk
can
about
to
this
us
stuff?
No, actually, you know what? Hey,
I'm gonna kill that fucking guy.
Brad, Mr. Weissman. Oh, he hasn't spent. We've not let our guest speak. Let's let him talk. Brad,
Weissman.
what's Weissman?
I have no
Well,
idea.
you know, he's Wiseman to me now. 'Cause
Watch,
you know
he's
why?
not
'Cause
on, and Ted's going to ask the most articulate,
You know why?
clear-cut question.
You know
like
why?
3 words.
So, sir, let me ask you this: as we look back through the history of
Weissman, you're dead to me.
Oh, boy. Maybe he was intimidated because we had Scott on.
It's a tough act to follow.
Scott Sigler?
Yeah,
No, I mean,
that's a tough
I
act to
did
follow,
I
man.
did the follow up. You know, I always did the follow up. Everything cool? Yeah, everything's cool.
Hey, well, you know what? He pulled a good horror on you. You got ghosted. he
did get
ghosted you.
You know what? It's not as
Ted
funny.
almost ghosted you tonight.
It's not as funny as you think.
I
All right, so a couple more things because I think this is funny. You guys know Snoop Dogg was in a horror movie.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I think probably in 2000.
Yeah, and it's a serious movie.
Yeah, yeah. He played a vampire.
Yeah.
No, what's the one movie that I think Marlon Wayans or Damon Wayans was in? It was like a spoof of like Scream or something.
Oh, the one.
It
On-
was
yeah.
a spoof on
yeah,
Scream.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was. Yeah,
And in there, he's his buddy. He's always like making sexual overtones to his buddy,
Yeah.
the one guy, and he goes, "Hey man, are you gay?" He goes, "I'm not gay, man." He goes, "Bring that dick over here. I'll show you how not gay I am." Yeah, he does it through the whole thing. It's fucking hilarious.
yeah. What's that movie called? Like I can't remember. It was a famous movie, but yeah.
Actually, it was
I
not
do
just
not know.
Scream. It was a parody on a multiple
Yeah.
horror
Yes,
films.
I think it's called Scary Movie.
Scary Movie. Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
that's
and there were,
what it was,
I think
yeah.
they made like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, yeah.
But dude, I love Marlon. I
Yeah,
love all
he's
the
good.
Wayans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
those
mean,
guys
they are just,
White Chicks. That was a good one.
dude. That was as stupid as it was. That was funny as hell. It really was. Okay, so you guys know that the 10th Saw movie came out.
Jesus.
I didn't know there was
Yeah.
10 now. I thought there was just like 5.
10 Saw movies. Have you guys seen any of them?
I did.
No.
I think I saw like. I know I saw at least 2 of them.
Did you really?
Yeah, I saw the first one.
I can't believe that.
I mean, it's been a long time, but yeah. So the whole premise is people. I don't know if they're bad people to begin with, and the killer's trying to punish them, but like he locks them up with these elaborate games, and like if you can escape, but you have to like sacrifice like basically a body part to get away. You have to make a tough choice to get away. Oh, so I read this actually.
Oh,
So-
is that like Mad Max? You
Something
can
like
saw through the chain in 20 minutes. You can saw through your leg in 5.
exactly?
Dude, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was. I always. You know what? That's a funny thing because I always thought about that. Like, could you possibly? Because I know the guy, whoever it was, sawed through his leg, but
Yeah.
he ended up blowing up like immediately.
Yeah.
Because he said he goes. You have like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You can saw through the chain in 20.
Mm-hmm.
You can saw through your leg
Well,
in
the
5.
gasoline was coming.
Yeah, and he starts sawing through his leg, and like 1 minute later,
that's not
number
fair.
1, he saws through his leg
Because all that
but
hard
number
work.
2, he makes it about halfway through, and he blows up. So could you possibly ever saw through your own anybody?
Well, the one guy that you heard about the guy who was like a hiker and he was trapped.
that's
his,
that movie
His arm
that-
was stuck in like between a rock formation.
I
He was
told
out
you
in
to watch
in the
that
wilderness.
movie. It's
So
amazing.
he cut off his forearm with a pen. With,
I don't
with
like the guy.
with a penknife with like
Yeah,
a
it's
little
with
like a
James,
penknife. Yeah.
James Franco.
James Franco.
Not a fan.
I know, but that movie's fan. We just watched that movie like a year ago. We talked about it on the show. It was
Yeah.
an awesome movie.
Here's
dude.
kind of a scary
It's called
movie.
72 hours or something
Yeah,
like that.
but here's another scary.
Yeah.
The movie 7 with your buddy
Oh, yeah.
Brad Pitt and
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan
right?
Freeman, of course, and then
And
obviously
Gwyneth Paltrow.
yeah, and then Kevin Spacey.
Gwyneth. Wait, did you eyebrow raise Gwyneth Paltrow?
Yeah.
I
She's
like
not
her.
attractive.
I've always liked her.
What?
Yeah.
She's not attractive.
I mean, attraction.
Wait,
what,
is
what
she
did they
something
say?
about
Ted?
Mary?
Eyes, beauty's in the eye.
No,
of the
no,
beholder,
she
right?
was no. That wasn't
That wasn't Gwyneth
No, that
Paltrow?
was the other one. She looks like Gwyneth Paltrow, but it's not Gwyneth Paltrow.
okay.
It's
What are you talking about?
who's in something about Mary? That's not Gwyneth
Oh.
Paltrow. The other blonde,
No, it's Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz. Yeah, she hasn't made a movie in
Oh,
forever.
okay.
yeah.
Gwyneth
You know what?
Paltrow's married to the lead singer from.
I don't.
Of course she is. Okay, but in the movies, of course she's married to a rock. She's married to a rock star or a lead singer.
She's
so
married to Chris.
Chris Rock.
yes. So in the movie 7,
Chris Angel.
so the whole premise of the movie 7, like he kills each victim. It is one of the 7
Oh,
deadly
7
sins.
deadly sins.
Yeah. So the one guy.
Wrath,
So
yeah.
the one guy. He's like gluttony. So he like basically he's a fat guy. I think he like chains him to his bed, where he can't like move. And then the woman, she's like an attractive woman.
He
So
puts him at the table and force feeds him. To
yeah.
him.
So there's the woman, like the attractive woman who's
He
like
does, yeah.
vanity. So like basically he cuts off her nose to spite her face. So he tapes a pill bottle to her one hand,
Yikes.
and he tapes the phone to her other hand. He goes, you can call 911 and live, or you can take these pills and die. And she chooses to kill herself because she has pictures of herself in the house. I'm like Giselle Bundchen, is that you?
You never seen 7, Matt?
Wow. guess I did.
That's a really good movie, man.
You know what the problem is? There's so many things I see and read and do,
Yeah.
and I just forget it, man.
No, but that was actually- it was
I'm
actually-
abusing my brain
No,
with
it's a
alcohol.
novel. It's a novel. It's a novel
I
movie.
saw that in the
It's-
theater, and that
yeah.
was a fucking.
It was a good movie.
I'm almost 100% sure I saw it. I just
Yeah.
it's just one of those things where like I have to reread things and rewatch things.
Yeah.
Well, how do we get on this topic? What were you saying before?
That's what I was saying.
No.
That's what you're saying. So here, and I'll give you one more thing that will probably freak you out. After The Exorcist was filmed, and Linda Blair is 14 or 15 at that time,
Was she
something
14?
like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. She got death threats
Really?
for a few years from religious loonies.
Yeah, sure.
Because of that.
Well, I mean, that whole movie was. I mean, when you think about it, wouldn't that come out like 73 or something? It came
Yeah.
out. I mean, that movie was pretty mind blowing. I mean, it would be
Dude.
it'd be mind blowing if it came out today with all the saturated movies we have now. But I mean, in 73, if you saw the uncut version where I think she sticks like the cross in her.
So does she
Private
actually?
part?
Okay, so here we go.
I don't
I
know.
was
I've
gonna
never
ask
seen
that.
that.
No,
part.
her head does not turn around.
No, does she actually stick a cross into herself?
Allegedly, there's a.
I
There's,
don't
there's a-
remember the movie.
No,
enough
allegedly,
to know.
there's a scene.
I saw it in the 70s.
I saw it in
don't
the 70s,
remember.
but yeah, I never saw that
I don't
scene.
remember that.
But yeah, but it was pretty scary back then, and it's still. I mean, that's to this day. That's still a scary movie to me to this day. So, in my opinion, I would say The Exorcist is definitely in the top 3 because it's scary. I mean, I know exactly what's
Yeah,
going to happen.
I agree.
No, that's
And if I saw
scary.
that movie right now by myself, I'd be kind of scared, because I mean, you know what's going to happen because it's pretty scary. So,
I don't like watching scary movies. I
I
just
mean,
don't.
any of those possession. I've seen a few possession movies, and I always thought those movies were a little bit because I mean, depending how realistic they are, because it could be you could see that being real. Like they're just crazy enough. Like you think they're mentally ill, but then they just do that one thing where it's like, well, what's the difference between demonic possession and being mentally ill? And the difference is demonic possession is knowing the unknowable. So if someone could speak backwards,
yeah, gloob, 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 yeah.
or they can predict like, hey, I know your mother died in 1953 clutching her pearls or something like that, like something that nobody would know except you. That would be a moment of pause for me versus someone who's just schizophrenic or just seriously has mental health
Here,
issues. So.
I'll blow you away. I don't know if you guys ever saw this. It's with Bill Paxton, and he actually directed it and starred in it. Frailty. And in the movie, he believes that God is telling him who to kill, these bad people, and he's going around and he's killing all these people. And somebody finds out, and he's like, "Hey, man," he goes, "You're killing all these people," and he goes, "Yeah, God's telling me to. I'm not going to ruin the end, but dude, it's."
Frailty?
I'm
Okay,
telling you,
check
man.
it out, yeah.
And I love
miss
Bill Paxton.
I miss him.
Yeah, Bill Paxton's a great actor, but that movie is absolutely fucking mind blowing. And the end, there is. Listen, I'm a guy who doesn't watch movies to the end anymore.
Yeah.
The end of that movie was absolutely phenomenal.
When did that come out?
Man, I'm gonna say it was
It's
at
got to be
least
20 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
10, 15 years ago
So,
at least.
so there's one, and you wouldn't think it's scary, but I thought it was a little bit unnerving. So it was a very obscure movie. It was called The Minus Man. I don't remember that, but it's Owen Wilson, who obviously is not a scary person.
Midas, right? Midas.
No, minus man, like minus, like
Minus?
the
Okay.
minus sign. Yeah. So this guy. So basically, the whole premise is when he's around, things don't add up. That's the whole premise of the movie. So he's a real nice guy. Just like Owen Wilson, like in The Wedding Crashers, he's harmless. But I
Playing
mean,
the same character.
but in this movie, but
Same
in this
guy in
movie,
every movie,
yeah,
man.
he's
Same
harmless.
guy.
He's harmless, but he's sinister. So I guess he does. He kills people, and then
You know
and
what?
then he's like in the search party looking for them. Like he's actually helping to look for them. They go
Oh,
missing.
the guy involved. I
Yeah,
love that.
And he's crying over them, and he's got posters and everything, and he's he's the bad guy, and he's completely divorced, like just from reality.
Here, so I'll give you a funny one, and this is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's called Student Bodies.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
I
love
heard- I
Student
think I heard of
Bodies,
that.
yeah.
Okay, and here's the premise behind it.
Great lines in that movie, man. Great one-liners.
The greatest line of any movie ever. And now, mind you, this movie is 40 years old. 40 years old.
Yeah.
I remember it like it was yesterday. So the killer he breathes heavy. And he just
Why did I wear galoshes?
yeah, and he constantly
COPD.
constantly. So now
It's all point of view. It's
Yeah.
a great. It's
yeah,
so
yeah.
good, man.
absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's slasher but hilarious.
Yeah.
So now he's walking up these steps.
Or
and
there's a rubber chicken in it too.
Yeah. If you've ever seen Family Guy, you know that they run a gag longer than it should be. Right?
Yeah.
Family Guy is famous for running a gag longer.
Yeah.
So now they show this guy walking up this spiral staircase, giant spiral, and it literally goes on for 2 minutes. And he's just and he's walking up these steps, and he's just and you can hear the people. He's going to kill them. You know it's going to happen, and he just keeps walking. And then all of a sudden he stops. He goes, all these steps. I hope I don't die first.
But he's walking up there and he's like, and he wears his galoshes and
That's
he's like,
pretty funny.
why did I wear galoshes?
Yeah.
He's questioning himself.
I'm telling you right now,
he's so
pretty funny.
self.
Yeah.
if you want to watch
deprecating.
something funny, something
Student
campy,
Body is
Yeah.
really good.
something
man.
campy and funny, that is Student Body.
You know what's another kind of it's kind of like a semi horror movie but sort of funny. Sin City. Remember Sin City?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, with Jessica Alba and
Mickey
Mickey
Rourke.
Rourke. Yeah, I
Mickey
mean
Rourke.
it's just scary enough. And who's plays Daniel Radcliffe plays that one guy who
Oh,
you know
killer
cannibal.
guy.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
there's another guy who's a real evil bastard too. And Bruce Willis is in there.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just scary and it's a little bit scary. A
It
little
is-
bit.
No, it
Yeah.
is, and it's
A little bit
super
scary.
dark. Yeah,
Super
Yeah.
dark. You know.
I watched that not too long ago.
Very
It's
foreboding.
really-
Oh, yeah?
yeah,
Yeah.
The cinematography is really good. I mean,
Yeah,
just the way
I
they
love
got it set up. You know,
Bruce
that's
Willis in that
Yeah,
movie.
it's like a film noir.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Is
very
that, is, that what, is that
dark
what it's called? Like
yeah,
film noir?
noir.
Oh, is
Yeah,
that what
that
is?
kind of setup.
Yeah, I like that movie.
All right. Well, you know what? I was excited about doing this, and whether we had an expert on or not, I really,
Well, sounds like we covered it all.
yeah. I mean, I really, honestly, and I'm not a horror movie guy, but you know what? It's funny that back in the day, I did watch all this stuff, and there are things that kind of stand out that are really cool to me.
I forgot about Student Body. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I'm gonna
we
try
watched
to
that
find
movie
that.
over and over again
Yeah.
as kids.
Yeah.
My buddy Andy had the VHS tape of it.
Yeah, it's just so stupid and
Yeah.
so funny. And there are so many. If you get on like whatever streaming service you have or whatever, there are a million. I mean, we didn't even get into like Sharknado, and I'll tell you right now. I watched the first one, and the rest of them, you know, obviously, but the first one was funny as hell.
Yeah.
That first Sharknado was funny as hell, and I knew it was stupid, and I knew it was campy.
Yeah.
And that's
That's
the
what makes
kind
it
of
funny,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
the kind of stuff that you kind of
Yeah,
like.
you know, it's like when win the Academy Award, you're just watching it for fun. You know, I mean, you know,
You know what though?
Take it
I'll be
too
100% honest. If in the last 20 years, I bet I haven't seen, I don't know how many films. What are they? 10 films a year? Do they do Academy Award? So for 100
Yeah, I don't
films,
know,
yeah,
yeah.
I've probably seen 6.
Yeah.
It's got an English person in
You've
it.
probably seen more
like
than
the,
you know.
The English patient.
Yeah.
Ralph Fiennes. Ralph Fiennes. So any movie that wins Academy Awards is going to either have Ralph Fiennes or the guy who plays. Remember, he was in There Will Be Blood. The guy who plays Abraham Lincoln. He always wins the Academy Award.
Oh, Daniel Day-Lewis,
Yeah.
yeah.
Every movie he's in,
he retired.
Yeah,
by
he's
the way.
retired. But I'm saying, yeah,
He retired?
yeah, fine.
Yeah,
Well,
twice. He's come
sick-
out of retirement twice.
he's
I
sick of
think,
winning the
though.
Academy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's a professional boxer.
And any
Yes.
movie he's in, you know, it's going to be nominated for the Academy Award. Yes.
No, that's that. You know what? That's absolutely.
Easy E is
You know-
Abraham Lincoln.
You know, when Ted drinks, he tends not to slam his arms on the table so much.
Yeah, dude. That you know what would be great?
To completely miscast somebody in a movie.
Yeah, just a completely wrong person.
Daniel Day-Lewis is Michael Jordan. The biography of Michael Jordan.
Oh man, how cool would that be? No, you ever seen a movie? You ever seen the TV show Drunk History?
Yeah,
I've heard of that show.
one
yeah.
of that show.
Yeah.
Favorite things of all time.
Yeah.
But what if you had just miscast movies?
Yeah.
And then you recreated
I'm
a
surprised.
movie
I'm surprised
with
nobody's
the absolute
I'm surprised.
wrong person.
I'm surprised nobody's like thought of that because it seems so. It's so ridiculous that it's
Yeah.
you know.
How much fun would that
Yeah.
be?
Yeah. It's just so because it's so unbelievable.
Right. How much fun would that be to have the absolute wrong person with the wrong kind of
because
accent
they're always
and the
looking
wrong
because
kind
they're
of
always looking for
everything?
the right person. They're always like that's why they have auditions because you got to find the exact right person for this role because it's believable. But just to pick the completely wrong person, you know, Snoop Dogg he's like the king, like the king, the stuttering problem. What was that movie? The
speech?
speech. Yeah.
Dude, that
King.
was such a great movie.
King's Speech.
The King's
Speech.
Oh
Yeah.
my
King's Speech. Yeah.
God.
Snoop Dogg in the King's Speech.
Dude, that'd be so much fun. All right, so let's wrap this thing up. Teddy, you go first.
I really enjoyed our guest in absentia. Hopefully, he's working on his next project.
Yeah.
We give
You
him
know
some
what?
good ideas.
You know what'd be terrible? If he was in like a horrible car accident.
What if he's just stuck in traffic?
Yeah.
We shouldn't say anything. So hopefully, he's okay. You know, and if he blew us up,
Really?
that's okay because we got a thick skin. We can handle it.
I can't.
We can handle it. Well,
Yeah.
you
know I'm going to cry. Yeah.
you're not a rejection kind of guy.
Yeah,
don't take-
actually,
you don't take
you know
rejection
what?
well.
You know what's funny? I always assume that our guest is never going to show up, and then I
They
just plan
always
ahead.
do, dude.
So you're
They
pleasant-
always
But
do.
I mean,
so you're pleasantly surprised when they do.
yeah. But just in case, I'm just like, you know what?
Your
set the
track
bar- they show,
record's
they don't
pretty
show.
good. There's only
Set-
two that have stood us up.
set
that
the
I
bar
can
low.
recall.
You know.
Who's the other guy?
Oh yeah.
There was somebody else. I do remember.
Well,
that.
no, we had one. It was technical difficulties from the Museum of Torture. Remember, she was actually on.
Oh
but
yeah.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
actually looking forward to the Mentalist.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward
that
to
was
that guy,
that was, and she did try to get back on, but I mean,
Yeah.
we had already talked about it.
Yeah.
I
moved
walked
on.
by there the other day when I went to the theater, and I stood out front and took a picture of it.
Why didn't you send that?
I meant to. I just didn't.
You send me every
I
stupid
know.
picture.
Actually, I thought about sending it, but then because Matt always degrades me when I send him stuff. I'm like,
No, I don't. I
Matt's
just
not gonna
say
appreciate
stop
this.
sending me that
you
stupid
guys,
shit.
You guys have a very codependent, dependent relationship. You know.
What? No, that's ridiculous. Shut up, Ted.
You're out of your element.
There's
Ted.
microaggression. There's macroaggression.
You're out of your
I
element,
don't,
Ted.
I don't know.
All right, Mark. Last thoughts.
I think in life in general, and more so in podcasting, you should always have a backup plan and an engineer. So if you're going to have a podcast, my final
Suck
thoughts
my
are
ass.
learn how to edit,
Is there a question in our future?
hire an engineer, and have make sure that you have a backup guest.
Oh, sure. Wait, let me get the multi-million-dollar
Wait.
budget out. Here it is.
A
Okay.
backup guest. How do you have a backup guest? Like just somebody I can call?
Every great podcast has a backup guest, Ted.
No. Who's a backup
Dude, we have
guest?
a green room here that fit. You could easily have somebody on a couch, like Matt Damon's always on Jimmy Kimmel, but he's never on. He's always stuck in the green room. That
Oh,
sort
my
of gag,
God.
that sort of thing. You could have Matt Damon sitting here waiting
So we
to
can
get
have
on.
a running gag of Matt Damon,
Yeah.
No, not
and then he
Matt
gets on. Like he shows up here for 30 weeks, and he gets on one time.
Damon. Right.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. All right, listen. I mean, whatever it is, it is. Halloween's coming up, and there's so many cool things. Whether you like, the really gory shit where they're chopping people's arms and heads and all sorts of stuff off, and yeah, I saw one where. Oh man, I don't even want to talk about that. It's so gross. But yeah, but there's all sorts of stuff for you to have fun with.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, and I like it campy and funny and.
Yeah.
But I actually enjoyed the making of all the things that I watched. So I get ready for this, like the making of Freddy Krueger, whatever.
Yeah,
what is that?
Nightmare on Elm
Yeah,
Street,
because you don't even think about you just see the movie itself, but you don't think about there's actually people. They show up in the morning like to work, right? They got a cup of coffee,
Right.
Well, those documentaries that Matt's talking about are really good.
They just get in the
It's-
makeup
it's
and
pretty funny
yeah.
because the one girl, one woman in one of them, I don't know, Friday 13th, whatever, and she's talking about. She goes, "Oh, I got to do this and this." She goes, "I really don't want to do this," and she goes, "And I'm a professional actress. I don't want people to see it." And then the whole gag was she. And she said it, and all the other
That was the one
tons
that
of
got
the other
put
ones.
through the TV, right?
Yeah, something like that. She goes, it doesn't matter. She goes, I'm going to do this. No one will ever see this movie. No one will ever
you're talking
watch
about
it. It's
the
Friday
fir- yeah,
13th.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
She goes, no one will ever see this stupid movie. She goes, so I can do. She goes, I don't even give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. She got high for one scene.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah,
drunk
yeah.
for another
Yeah.
one. She's like, who cares?
Yeah.
She goes, this is absolute horseshit.
Yeah.
No one's ever going to see this thing, and then it becomes I don't know,
Iconic. Yeah.
iconic.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
That movie's really good.
And then the opposite. You know what
No,
the
it's
funny is?
not.
The opposite
I thought it was
when they make a movie
I like it.
with the expectation that this is going to be iconic, and then it's just like a complete dud.
Any
Or
movie with Kevin
because-
Bacon in it, I love.
Oh yeah.
I thought
yeah.
you were going to say
Mark
Kevin
was
Costner.
so mad.
I thought you were going to say Kevin Costner in Waterworld.
So I watched the making of which one was he in Friday 13th?
Yeah, Friday the 13th.
And I tell Mark, we were golfing yesterday or the day before. I go, hey man, I go, I didn't realize Kevin Bacon was
Did you
in
know?
Friday
No, you're
13th.
like, did you
Oh,
know?
Yeah, did you know that?
I didn't
he
know
goes,
that.
He goes, I told you that last week on the show. I told you that Kevin Bacon was in this and Johnny Depp
Did
was
you
in
listen to the
Nightmare
show
on Elm
today?
Street. Yeah, I did.
And I did say it. Right?
You did say
Okay.
that. Yeah, but it was.
Oh my
it was-
God, I talked about that on the
Where
air.
was Kevin Bacon? I got to see that. I don't
He was
remember.
he was one of the first people to get killed, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think
Seven
he was.
sex,
Yeah,
yeah.
he was. They just finished having sex, and that was
Yeah.
the girl.
Oh,
she's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
she,
yeah, yeah,
she's like, she told the story. I got stoned. Yeah, she goes, I got stoned to have TV sex with Kevin Bacon.
And now she's
she
in,
goes, yeah.
Yeah.
now she's in 7 Degrees to Bacon.
Yeah.
Right? Kevin Bacon, 7 Degrees to Kevin Bacon.
Oh man,
That's how far it goes back, like the movies he was in.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's kind of like that, though, right?
Yeah.
But he's been in so many different
Oh, that guy's like
Yeah.
a great
genre-type
yeah,
movies.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Footloose.
I loved Footloose, dude. Footloose. I actually felt like at one point Footloose was my story.
I like Footloose, too.
Yeah, I didn't know how to ride a tractor. I wasn't in a small town, and no one told me I
Chris
couldn't
Penn
dance.
was great in it.
Chris Penn was awesome
Yeah.
in that movie.
Missed that guy.
Oh man, is he dead too? Oh,
Oh,
he fatted up and died, right?
No, he you know their other brother died too?
Sean?
No, Sean Penn's older brother. Well, Chris Penn died, and then the singer. He's an artist. He's
Penn and Teller?
He's a musician. He's a singer.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
just
know what it
died
is.
recently.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, but I think Chris Penn actually got pretty heavy, didn't he?
Yeah,
Wasn't he in
struggled with
Wasn't he in
weight.
Reservoir Dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So listen, we got to put this thing to bed. Thanks to our guest, Johnny Invisible. Yeah.
Thanks for nothing, Noonan.
Yeah.
He'll be on again.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Everybody have fun. Have a great leading up to Halloween weekend. And then next week, I mean, if he shows up, we are going to have a mentalist who can actually read people. I believe he's from Sweden, Henrik Fexius. I'm super excited
I love
about
that
this.
name.
Well, I can't wait to see if he can read you because, what, if he can't read you, Ted, then you know what you are.
And it was.
You are an imbecile. All right, man. Have fun. Enjoy, and we'll see you guys next week.